listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
Bennington goes to pick up his stick. The Wild score. How that wasn't goalie interference, I'm not exactly sure. Sundquist to Neighbors. He scores! 3-2, the St. Louis Blues lead. Holloway's going to grab it. Look out, his stick broke. Creates a 3-on-1. They go to the far wing and score. The Wild lead 5-4. Philip Broberg's stick broke on an attempted pass that created a 3-on-1. 5 seconds to go in this one, and the Minnesota Wild have now gone 3-0 on the St. Louis Blues here in the regular season. The Wild move into a tie for first place, and the Blues slip further behind the wild card spots in the Western Conference. 6-4 the final.
Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford Bruns pinch hitting today for our guy Andrew Marsh, who's under the weather. Jamie Rivers is battling traffic and the weather and everything else, and he will be here throughout the show today, but he's coming back from Minnesota. Weather issues, ice, defrost, cars in Cahokia, traffic jams. So Jamie's battling here. I already texted the group. I say, hey, maybe we start drinking right when Jamie gets here.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah. All right, wait till he gets here for sure.
Yeah.
I was listening to that audio. That was from a few weeks ago when they played the Wild.
No, sir.
The Blues won. I remember I was watching the game last night, and they scored 4 in a row, and I was like, whoa!
Yeah, they did.
They took the lead. I was like, man, that's amazing. And so I know they won the game, but what was that audio from? Because I turned the game off after the second period. I was like, it's over. They won 4-3. And this audio confused me. What happened?
Yeah, I appreciate your optimism in the moment there, CD, but Minnesota did in fact battle back. They scored 3 goals in the third period, and they won 6-4.
No way. Yeah. No, the game was over, Anthony. I turned it off.
It felt over. It was first 5 minutes in the second period. I'll give you that.
4 goals in a row, and it was over. That was it. The game ended. Like, you didn't have to play anymore. Once you, Anthony, you come back and score 4 goals in a row, there's no way the other team claws back into that game. They're deflated. They're defeated. It's over. Nobody has to play the third period. You don't necessarily have to do it.
Not only do you have to play the whole third period, you have to play the rest of the second period too, Ken.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
That's a rule. You have to play the whole thing.
Well, why? It was 4-2 when I turned the game off, Anthony.
6-4. I saw it.
No way.
It happened.
No, it didn't happen. I don't believe it.
A couple of controversy or calls there. Jordan Bennington at times hard to hit. And defense, too many mistakes, turnovers, ugly play overall. Not great by our St. Louis Blues.
I got to start watching the whole game, huh?
You got to start watching the whole game.
What the hell happened?
I respect that you thought that the game was over.
I turned it off at 4-2. I was like,
when they won up 4-2.
You score 4 goals after being down 2-0. You deserve that win, Anthony, and no one is going to tell me anything differently.
Well, no.
You deserve to win the game.
You deserve to win games that you play the full 3 periods or 4 quarters or, whatever sport you're playing.
Normally teams give up when you score
plus
4.
Extra time. I still don't know how that works.
Score 4 in a row. Are you talking soccer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, extra time.
It's 2 halves, but then there's extra time.
Oh, the extra time is added on when guys lay on the ground and they're not really hurt.
It's a 200-foot game for 60-plus minutes.
There you go.
What in the world took place here?
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. So Matt Boldy's tie-breaking goal earlier in the third period for the Wild completed their comeback, 2-score deficit. They say that the worst lead in hockey is the 2-goal lead. Apparently.
Clearly.
Boldy snapped the shot off past Zuccarello, or from Zuccarello, I should say, on the 2-1 rush after Jake Broberg's stick had broke in the neutral zone. You also had the play that Curbs mentioned coming in, that audio courtesy of the Blues Radio Network. That's us here on 101 ESPN, and Curbs was talking about the goalie interference there on the Wild's second goal. I mean, there were some things that certainly went against the Blues. There were some things from a turn, whether it was turnovers, whether it was just sloppy play overall. Bennington again. I thought Bennington had a tough night. Not all the goals that were allowed were on him, but look, that he's in a bit of a tough stretch here. Offensively, at least for the first 5 minutes of the second period, you're like, oh, okay, this is how it could look.
Looks good.
This is nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
When you get everything rolling like that offensively, and the pressure that they provided. The puck possession was there. The transitions in and out of each zone, that was all there. Like, it looked pretty for I would even say, back half of the first period, too. Heading into that second period, and then things fell apart.
We were talking about this on Monday. The amount of goals that they have been scoring. You score 4 goals, you should win that game, right? And to come back into the game in the manner in which they did, like being down 2-0, you kind of looked like not taking care of your business, and then you rattle off 4 in a row. Booch gets it started. Thank you, Anthony.
How about that?
Appreciate you. Just extend my lead in the.
For those who don't know, I went on a bit of a rant because you guys kept giving me Booch for the light the lamp game, and then we gave you Booch last night, and of course the first goal after I say he's not going to score maybe ever.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, he scored the first goal. Yeah. He's dominated Minnesota.
But you get back into that game. You tie it up. You take the 2-goal lead, and now you're in firm position to win that game. I don't know, and I think we talked about it on Monday. I wasn't here yesterday, but we talked about it. Just when you are a team that is inconsistent, this is the level of play you have. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have the highs and the lows, which is why I said earlier in the season I'm not riding the roller coaster, because that game will drive you crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, that is the epitome of I'm going to lose my fast lane mind. Because how do you claw back into a game, take such a lead, and then give it right back? And there's no rhyme or reason for it. The things you do to get the lead are probably the things you should continue to do and not assume that the other team is going to stop playing. That's why I'm joking, but at 4-2, you turn the game off. And hopefully that's not the Blues mindset. I doubt that it is, but no. You got a team that is going to fight back and fight you and allow themselves to get back into the game. And it's a bit frustrating if you're a Blues fan.
Well, the head coach himself, Jim Montgomery, and we will get into some of his post-game comments as the show goes along. But to answer your question there, Carey, the fact of the matter is that here we are. We were talking about with Stalter before the show even began back into the office. You're 20 games now into Jim Montgomery's tenure, and we are hearing that classic buzzword or term, grit, once again being thrown around for stretches of a game. I'm not talking about 60 minutes. Maybe you're talking about slivers, slices here and there. But when you're hearing that once again, and you're viewing these results of late, and you have reached that point in January, we were told, okay, when this team is able to get back at home, and Thursday, tomorrow night, begins more of an extended homestand, that's when things have to stabilize out of necessity. You have to see the full effort and more moving forward. So there's no excuse, frankly, for going out there on the road or not against a Columbus team, surrendering 6 goals. Great. Your offensive firepower was there. You potted 4 goals of your own. And then last night as well against Minnesota, another subpar by their own admission, goaltending tandem, their performance. You score 4 goals once again, but against a Minnesota team that right now is somewhat wounded too in terms of personnel. It's a second-place team, and yet you can't take advantage of that opportunity and close it out versus a team that is without its best offensive threat in Kaprizov. Yep. You don't have the captain there as well. It was an opportunity that was squandered there, and you just don't have that many remaining when you think about how many contests are left in the second half of the schedule and how much ground you still have to make up.
Well, this goes back to, and we'll hear from Jim Montgomery here in a second on the game as a whole, Gary. But when it comes to just what Jamie said yesterday, I had asked him, I said, hey, I was talking about Minnesota's injuries as well. Kaprizov's out, Spurgeon's out. Like you had some Middleton. You didn't know if he was going to play. He wound up playing, but you had all these injuries. How did the Blues take advantage of it? And Jamie said it's not about the Wild; it's about the Blues, and he's right. The Blues played well enough last night offensively to win that game, but they did not close things down in the defensive end. They did not have sharp goaltending, and you wind up blowing that lead. Here's Jim Montgomery on the game last night overall.
I thought we were really good after we fell down 2-0, and I thought we were really good till about the 8-minute mark of the second. And then I thought, we didn't have as enough grit or as much determination as they did. So
that was the aforementioned grit that Bradford was talking about. I think more than anything, like if you're a coach, and Carey, you have coached high school, you have coached middle school, you've coached, various things football related throughout your lifetime. Outside of talent, I think grit might be number 2 when it comes to coaching. Like because grit kind of encompasses a lot. It encompasses not giving up. It encompasses effort. It encompasses some humility. I think beyond just overall talent, because if you have a talentless team, that's going to be tough to win.
Right.
But if you have talent and grit, you have the makings of a title contender.
The two things I never want to hear if I'm a coach that my team lacks is grit and effort. Because effort is something you control. Like how much effort you give on a night-to-night basis, you control that as a player.
Yeah.
How do I feel? Doesn't matter. I'm going to go out there and give you everything I got for 60 minutes or for however long this game is. And the grit is just a toughness. Like I'm not going to let go of the rope no matter what happens. I know things are being shaken up. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to fight as long as I can.
Right.
And if everybody has that mindset, you do have good teams. You couple that with talent. Like you said, the talent, the grit, the effort, those are the teams that win championships. You can have teams that are more talented, but when you have that grit and you give great effort, you're going to surpass them at times. The first team that comes to mind is the Detroit Pistons when they beat the Los Angeles Lakers in 04. Was that 04 where everyone said
that was
that was the Lakers championship to win? They went out and won 5 games. The gentleman's sweep. They should have swept them. But it's the grit, it's the effort. And as a coach, I never want to look at my team and say, man, we don't got no effort. We don't have any grit. Because that means either, I go back to the old Coach Venturi saying, you're either coaching it or you're allowing it. If I got guys out there that don't have grit, either I coached them that way or I am allowing them to play that way. And that then falls on the head coach. So they have to figure out what they want to do, how they want to do it, who they want to be. And it's still a long season. It's one game. It's more frustrating. If you lose that game 6-0, man, whatever. Right? You burn the film. But to get back into the game, to have a deficit, to be down 2 goals, to claw your way back in, to take a 2-goal lead, and then to lose by 2 goals, it's like, what the hell are we doing? And why are we only consistent enough in spurts and not for an entire 60 minutes? That's the frustrating part.
In spurts, and also in spite of bringing in another veteran presence. Why did Doug Armstrong make that move a few weeks ago to acquire a Cam Fowler? He has been tremendous. He has been able to also allow Ryan Suter to take that step back and log fewer minutes as well. But as you said, Carey, we've seen so many instances now. It is such a pattern of spurts, fits and spurts, right? And for me, that means regardless of really how it shakes out over the next month plus, and it will be big to have more extended action at Enterprise Center. I understand that. But you are basically saddled with your veteran core group, and you have other youngsters obviously on the ascent and so forth. But doesn't it also whet your appetite a little more to think about what it could be like in the last month plus of the season if you're entertaining the idea of maybe bringing up some of the youngsters, having those available at your disposal? Snugger, post-Frozen 4. We understand that. Maybe even a Dvorsky, because you're seeing the same patterns and consistency or lack thereof from that core group. You're not going to move off of that group, but you have to start thinking about the future as well.
That's Bradford Bruns. He's filling in for Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, and the one and only Jamie Rivers, former Blues defenseman, walked into the studios fresh off the road. Hey. We'll get his thoughts on not only the Blues last night, but also his travel in today. You need a bourbon?
I need a bottle.
With the chat about the Blues with Jamie next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for another moment in Blues history.
On this day back in 2008, the Blues would defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets 6-1 to earn their 21st victory of the season. 3 unanswered goals in the first 3 periods. David Backes in the first, Andy McDonald in the second, and he would score 1 minute and 25 seconds into the third. Columbus would get one back. Rick Nash's 22nd of the year, but then Keith Tkachuk on the power play, David Perron and Dan Heinold would all score for St. Louis.
This date in Blues history was powered by Classic Air Care, making people comfortable since 1926. For all your HVAC needs, classicaircare.com.
we've got your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Monster Jam. Returning for 2 huge shows next Saturday, January 18th and Sunday, January 19th at the Dome at America Center. Get ready to cheer, scream, and be amazed as massive Monster Jam trucks and world champion drivers take over St. Louis for a weekend packed with high-flying action and jaw-dropping stunts. Get all the info and enter to win that free 4-pack of tickets now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
So our guy Jamie Rivers is fresh off the
planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Everything.
You were. I was going to say the road, but it's more than just the road. You were in the air too.
It's been an interesting 12 hours. Let's just put it that way.
You started in Minnesota this morning?
Yeah. Well, so we had the game last night in Minny, and as soon as I got off the air with you guys, pack up everything. I got to hurry, get down, get to the bus, and get over to the rink and all that stuff. Check out my room. Well, following the game, as we're down, doing the pressers or talking to the players or the coach, we get a notification that our plane's just, it's not coming. It's not making it. So then you got to scramble back to the hotel in Minny to get back to where we were and get our bags, first of all, off the bus. Well, the bus had already left, gone back to the hotel for whatever reason. It was supposed to stay there. It didn't. So we're all walking back to the hotel in the cold, mind you, because it's the easiest way to do it in Minnesota. I get to the hotel, the bus had gone back to the rink. So all our bags are back at the rink. Yeah. So I said, I don't care. I don't care. I put my bag in my room because I have my room key. I went down to the bar. I'm like, I'm having a drink. That's it. I don't care. Keep my stuff. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Well, the bus made its way back. We unpacked our stuff, spent the night, got up this morning, and we flew from Minny. It took us forever. We weren't able to leave Minny for I don't know how long it was. And then they told us, well, you can't fly into Cahokia, that's where we fly out of, where all of our vehicles are. You can fly into Lambert, but you can't fly into Cahokia. So we flew into Lambert, then took 2 buses all the way out to the Cahokia airport, got our cars, and then driving back to the station, I'm booking it pretty good. I'm like, I'm going to make it there on time. No big deal. An accident on Highway 40. It's a parking lot there right at Lindbergh. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm here anyways, guys. Yeah. I couldn't be happier either.
Yeah. I just want to go home.
Are you sure about that?
Why would I want to go home? This is great.
Ready to rock for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Especially after a Blues L.
Jamie, I was telling him I turned the game off at 4-2. I thought,
I wish I could have.
Yeah, it was over. Usually when you score 4 in a row, the other team doesn't continue to fight back. So, in my mind, Blues won that one 4-2.
I like your version way better, Carey. I do.
Go with that.
I do. Yeah, it's a tough little road trip for the Blues. You go into Columbus, you put 4 on the board, you lose 6-4, which is not great. And then you're down 2 early in a wacky game. It really was a lot of crazy things that happened, but you come roaring back and you put 4 on the board and you're up 4-2, then you're up 4-3 going into the third period. Like, come on, this should be on lockdown at that point. And it just wasn't. The Wild came out, scored 2 goals early in that period, and then get the insurance goal with the empty netter. It just a little too loosey-goosey, in my opinion. Some of the play, some of the details were ignored. And, for the last 2 games, which is rare, the Blues didn't get the saves they needed.
Yeah.
And I say it's rare because Joel Hofer and Jordan Binnington have been really good tandem for the last, year and a half now. And I just didn't feel like you didn't get the game breaker save that you needed.
Yeah.
And there's probably a couple they'd like back. And that's the difference.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When you have expectations for, in this case, Jordan Binnington, the expectations are good. The expectations are high.
Yeah.
So when he has a night like he did last night, it's fair to both criticize and then say, yeah, you didn't get those saves. I mean, the one where, he was out just a little bit too far and then it went past his right shoulder. That's one that I think he would... That's the biggest one I thought he'd like to have back outside of maybe the 5-hole shot. But we've seen him make those saves over and over again. But you're right. I mean, it was like the turnover would happen, maybe an odd man rush, and Binnington gave up the goal. It just you didn't get that big play defensively last night. And I thought it was a complete breakdown. It was a team breakdown. It wasn't just Bennington. It wasn't just
there were some
defensive
breakdowns, but there were some wacky plays, too. Like the first goal, Zuccarello just runs over Bennington. And I understand that, like, it's not technically goalie interference because Bennington was outside the crease, but it's interference. And Jim Montgomery said it best following the game. He's like, listen, I understand that each player is entitled to their space on the ice, especially when it's outside the crease. However, when a player establishes position and then another player hits that person and that person doesn't have the puck, if it was player on player, that'd be an interference call.
Yeah.
If it was player on the goalie, why is it not interference? Because after that, Bennington couldn't really regain himself. The stick was on the ice. He was scrambling, trying to grab the stick. And by the time he grabs the stick, now the puck's in the net.
Right.
So that was a weird kind of play that, you're like, okay, chalk it up to whatever because you came back. But then Broberg in the third period, he's skating back. Nice little play. Gonna headman the puck. Stick breaks in half. And it's not just like stick breaks in half. Oh, my partner's there too. No, he was the last man back, and 3 Wild players are the only things around it. Like, what are you going to do there? He's trying to, like, sprawl out and lay on the ice. Right. So a couple of wacky plays to go with it. But you know what? That's the stuff that happens when things aren't going your way in a particular span of games. And you just got to live with it. You got to put it behind you now, and you got a big game against Anaheim. Now, that's a game you can't lose tomorrow. Right. I mean, you shouldn't, and you can't lose that game. And for me, you got to just refocus. That's it.
Jamie, last night, obviously you can't look at that result, at that loss in a vacuum, but I thought it was striking that really for the first time, Montgomery was more vocal about sharpening some of those finer details. What did you make of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's the coach, right? And so he's been great. He's been like the nice guy, and justifiably so. The team has played better since his arrival. But every now and then, as a boss, as a parent, as a coach, like, you've got to snap the crew back to where they need to be. And I think that moment is right now. I think that he's basically said to the guys, look, the details, like, it just wasn't there. We didn't play tough enough. We didn't play smart enough. We didn't play hard enough. And that's just not acceptable, especially with the way you have been playing. To have this little hiccup for 2 games, it's like, no, we're not doing that. You know, this is supposed to be the stretch run before this big all-star break or 4 nations break that you make up ground. Heck, you were 2 points out of a playoff spot to start this road trip. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people who don't believe in the Blues, I can't believe they're crap. Yeah, sell off everything. Get a high draft pick. Well, you were 2 points out of a playoff spot. And I think you still sit 3 points right now out of a playoff spot. Now, the other teams have games in hand, but still, like, you're there.
Yeah.
So you got to tighten it up now as a group and make sure you're ready to go. And then you cannot lose games that you should win.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We got Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh. Speaking of Bradford Bruns, he's got what's trending next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com. opinion on the Air Comfort Service heating, cooling, and insulation text line at 314-399-9646 on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues wiped out by Wild. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Last night, St. Louis dropped its second straight road tilt, 6-4, at the hands of Minnesota. Jordan Kyrou scored a second-period power play goal in defeat. STL's next bounce-back opportunity comes tomorrow as Anaheim arrives downtown. 101 ESPN's pregame coverage unfolds post-Fastlane. This SportsCenter update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
What's trending now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
2:33 in the Loop. Bradford Bruns back with you on the Fast Lane, along with Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers is in the house, plus Carey Davis. Gentlemen, let's swing it to the NFL and an issue that doesn't only pertain to the football. Various elements, we've been dealing with those here in St. Louis, of course, but in Los Angeles, there's a totally different set of problems there. In advance of Monday night's wild card showdown, scheduled right now between the Rams and the Vikings, three major blazes taking place today in that metro area, so at least 70,000 citizens have been ordered to evacuate. And the trouble, it extends to the ice as well. Already, the Kings have postponed tonight's game home date against the Flames, so obviously we continue to monitor this developing situation.
Yeah, it's scary. There's already been two people, unfortunately, that has tragically have lost their lives. You've got, winds that pick up, and then that winds up being a huge problem. As Bradford mentioned, you got over 70,000 people that are evacuated in that area. Yeah, crazy weather going on throughout the country, but this is certainly a sad deal, and it extends beyond sports, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I'm confused a little bit, because isn't it usually like in the summertime when things get really dry and they have this problem? Like, I just find it odd that it's in January and we're having these wildfires in California.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that, but you're right. That it does seem odd. It does seem like it's normally a summer thing.
I don't know the logistics behind it. Don't claim to be a wildfire expert by any means. But it sucks, man. Imagine living there and having all this go on, and never mind the sports part of it, but people are finishing up the holiday season, beginning the new year, and they got to deal with this.
Yeah, evacuating their homes.
Yeah, not great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is tough. It's tough for families and for the firefighters that are out there having to deal with it, having to be a part of it. They don't get the option of evacuating and running away. So those people, those men and women that are out there fighting those fires, salute to them, hats off to them. Hopefully they all stay safe, and hopefully they get it under control.
Well said.
Soon.
College game now. Bill Belichick, gentlemen, he's on a rampage for those Tar Heels. Okay, maybe not, but UNC with a nice get today on the defensive line. Stud in the form of Bryce Yates. That gives 13 portal additions or commitments now for UNC since Belichick took over. And this one is interesting because Yates comes from the very program that just toppled UNC in that bowl game. It would be UConn as well. So that's intriguing, needless to say. What do you make of Bill's work so far in the portal?
Well, I think it's obvious of why people are transferring. I mean, it's Bill Belichick. You may not really want to play for the guy because you've heard horror stories and the way he is, but if there's anybody who can get pretty much anyone in the NFL to answer a call, it's Bill Belichick.
Sure.
And if he's got some players that he thinks are NFL worthy, at least whether practice roster, outright signing, or drafting and all that, he picks up the phone and calls the Bears, the Patriots, the Rams, like whoever, name your team. They're taking that call, and they're going to give this kid a look at that point because Bill Belichick doesn't loosely give recommendations.
Right.
So I think that's the obvious reason. I mean, maybe you guys see something different, but...
Well, I think this was the big question, right? Whether or not he was going to be able to recruit, whether or not he was going to be able to sway a redshirt junior that's playing for UConn under Jim Mora and get him to Chapel Hill? Right, that was the big question, whether or not he could relate to the younger player.
Well, he can relate
so
to younger
far, so good.
People, we know that.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about younger players.
Play football.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about that, but obviously he can relate.
Which one do you think is easier?
Well, Carey, I'm not going to answer that. On the grounds, it might incriminate me.
There you go.
I think, obviously he's going to get some players. I'm just interested to see how it turns out, when those players are doing TikTok dances and don't know the plays. Because it's going to happen. This is we are in a different time, man. And if you have not been coaching younger players and know that it is vastly different than it was 20 years ago, you're going from the NFL to college. I'm not saying he's going to fail. I'm saying he's going to be frustrated because there's going to be
no doubt.
There's going to be, with all the movement, the same way he's getting those players to come in now, in 12 months, 10 months, when it's time, when that transfer portal opens again, those players could be leaving out, going to get more money or going to get more opportunities. It's a tough task to coach college football right now, the way that it's set up. And for a man that's been coaching in the NFL for the last 30 years, I think it's going to be extremely hard for him. So I'm interested to see how it all plays out, but hopefully it works out. Hopefully they do get in. Hopefully, they're able to have some success, but Bill Belichick didn't want his players in the NFL having social media or being on live or doing those things. You're not going to tell a 19, 20-year-old that they can't do that because that's all they do. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Honest question here. I'm not naive, but December the 28th, for all non-CFP participants, that's when the winter window was supposed to have closed, right? And then you file the paperwork. All paperwork had to be submitted by December the 30th. So why are we getting all of these maneuvers, all of these developments? How are they taking place now when these teams, over a week ago, for instance, UNC and UConn concluded their bowl contest as well? How is this even happening right now until later in April?
Well, that's why Jim Mora is pursuing.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't
tampering
square with the NCAA bylaws.
Wait, Bill Belichick all he does is play by the rules. Okay, guys, let's be honest now.
Wait.
He's never done anything outside the lines. Okay, he keeps it nice and straight.
Yeah, sure. Does he go to the line? Absolutely.
Does he go over?
No, Carey, no. Bill's just competing. That's all. Shame on Jim Moore if he's not competing as hard.
Well, we'll see if Jim Moore can kick up any more dust here.
One more thing from the NFL. So on Sunday, of course, some people out there taking umbrage with the way in which the Chiefs showed up or didn't in that late afternoon contest versus Denver. Travis Kelce, he weighed in on the subject on the newest episode of New Heights. Of course, Cincinnati could not qualify for the playoffs, could not get that additional assistance from Kansas City. Denver won. Miami's game was immaterial. Travis Kelce saying he wants it to be like Mortal Kombat style. He will slay every ... fill in the blank. He would want that smoke from Cincinnati if need be. Is this much ado about nothing?
He didn't want that smoke. None of them wanted that smoke.
You don't want to face Joe Burrow. No. Red Hot Joe Burrow has almost got 5,000 yards this season and has slayed Kansas City before. That has been a good matchup. But there's no Kansas City didn't get together and say, hey, let's make sure that the Broncos win so that the Bengals get held out. They held out their starters because they didn't need to. They didn't need to play that game at all. They didn't need to risk injury. Christian Watson's now done for the year for the Packers. He wound up playing in Week 18. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs rested their guys. They wound up with Carson Wentz against Denver, and Denver had all the motivation in the world to win that game.
Denver's pretty good, man.
Denver's pretty good. It had nothing to do with Cincinnati. Hey, Bengals, don't lose to the Patriots Week 1.
Exactly. Hypothetically, would you have given Cincinnati a chance versus Buffalo first round? A chance.
I would have. Yep.
Now with that defense.
Anytime you have Joe Burrow, I think there's a chance.
I mean, we saw that exact same team go into Buffalo and like a hot knife through butter crushed Buffalo a couple of years ago.
I think if the Bengals wanted to be in the playoffs, they should have won more games. Sounds
absolutely.
Like
yeah.
I mean,
I don't think you
bottom line.
That's a good thought.
Blame the Chiefs because your fault. I didn't get into the playoffs. Wait, did you play any games? Yeah, I just didn't win enough. But you didn't win the last one, Jamie.
Did they only have one win through like 6 weeks to start the season or something?
They started 1-4.
Yeah,
1-5. 1-5.
1-5.
And that one was against the Panthers. Like, hey, come on.
Blame yourself, guys.
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. You had an opportunity to beat the Ravens. You had a field goal kicker, I think, miss a field goal late in that game.
They should have won the Raven game.
You can't
lose. You can't lose to the Patriots week 1.
Yeah, man. Nobody wants to hear it.
That's a juggernaut, though.
Yeah, juggernaut looking for a new coach. Yeah.
Where's T. Higgins going? Most likely destination.
I hope he comes. Well, you know what? If I'm being honest, he can come to Pittsburgh. We need a number 1. Oh, listen.
Who's going to get him the ball?
Doesn't matter. Somebody will get him the ball. We'll worry about that later. Jamie, don't you
always do.
Look over here. Don't focus over there.
I was just wondering if maybe they signed somebody that
I don't know. I don't know where T. Higgins goes. I don't think they'll be able to keep him and Jamar Chase. And truthfully, they probably shouldn't because they need to upgrade that offensive line because it doesn't matter how good those two are outside if Joe Burrow is looking up at the sky every time he drops back to throw a pass. So they got to upgrade the offensive line. One of those, well, not one. T. Higgins will probably be on the move. But Jamar Chase is going to get a hefty payday soon.
They just fired Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator, who is outstanding.
Yeah.
They transferred.
Well, somebody had to fall on the sword.
Right. And that guy. You took all of his best defensive players away outside of Trey Hendrickson. Right? Like you lose Jesse Bates, you lose DJ Reader because you're funneling all the money into the offense. Your head coach, by the way, is that's right. He's your offensive play caller. Right. Everything goes to the offense. Defense is barren. Defense sucks this year. And it's like, this is your fault, Lou. Get out. He's going to have a job in an hour. That guy's an outstanding defensive coordinator.
And I mean, a la Spags and KC, wouldn't you entrust him to grow with the younger players on that side of the football? You did make strides, serviceable ones in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How about the game? Sorry, CD, but how about the game plan he had for Russell Wilson in Week 18?
Bingo.
Say, hey,
what happened there? What are you talking about?
You know what? We'll save you you've had a long day. Maybe not as long as Jamie, but
I haven't heard the song in a while.
Oh, you're not gonna. Let me tell you something. They're gonna have to be the Ravens to hear that song for me this weekend. They got to win. But we'll say this.
Uh-oh.
And I read this somewhere, huh?
Oh boy.
Last time the Steelers were a 6 seed, you know what they did? Won the Super Bowl. So there's that. You know. You're saying we got a chance.
No, I'm not.
And
I'm not.
They started that postseason off against a division rival in Cincinnati. You know, won that game.
Who was their quarterback?
That was what is his name? Carson Palmer. Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
Wasn't Russell Wilson?
Oh, the Steelers quarterback at the time?
Yeah,
that was Ben.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a bit different.
Yeah, it's Ben. Hey, what's different? Both of them Hall of Famers.
How much time do you have?
Both of them got a Super Bowl. Ben got 2.
Was that the Detroit Super Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah. See?
We were there.
And they got...
We were. I worked it. I worked that Super Bowl.
They had the fumble on the goal line.
I was next door at Jelly's Chili Bar.
You know.
MVP Hines? Was that MVP Hines?
Yeah.
That was when Big Ben in Indianapolis
tackled. Yeah.
Who was that? Who's that? Hilton?
Nick Harper.
Nick Harper. That's right. Do you remember that, Jamie?
Oh yeah.
So the goal scooped it up at the goal line because Bettis fumbled at the goal line. He's going back the other way like game's over, and Big Ben somehow tripped him up.
Yeah.
Somehow
at
lumbered
midfield.
back and got him.
Yeesh. Yeah, I'm sure these Steelers, same path. Back. Yeah, same path. Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Jamie, it's not happening.
I feel bad for him.
You guys
He's going to be so upset.
Yeah. I think he knows. So Nolan Arenado,
oh boy,
as we know, has been on the trade block. If the Cardinals can't move him, do they wind up moving Sonny Gray to save some money?
Oh boy.
Yeah. We'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN.
This Sunday, it's an NFL wildcard weekend on 101 ESPN. Game 1, Bills and Broncos. Game 2, Eagles and Packers. Game 3, Bucks and Commanders. Coverage starts Sunday morning at 11:30. Your destination for the NFL in St. Louis is 101 ESPN.
We were just talking about the NFL playoffs. We all have hunches, right? Well, why don't you get paid for those hunches? Whether it's a quarterback maybe you think is going to have a big game this weekend, or a running back's going to score a touchdown, play Underdog Fantasy. My buddies at Underdog, they're tremendous. You just pick a couple of players, you build your fantasy team that way, but you build it in a unique way. So let's say you like, I don't know, Sam Darnold to go over his passing number. Maybe you like Jaden Daniels to go over in rushing receiving yards. You pick higher or lower. You play Underdog's Champions game, and then you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing that higher or lower on player stats. Underdog is the only Champions platform that also puts the power to cash out in your hands. So let's say things are going pretty well, but you got one player left. You can actually cash out, or you can let it ride. Either way, choice is up to you. And one of the other things I love that Underdog does is if you have Jaden Daniels, you have Baker Mayfield or somebody, and a player gets hurt early in the game, they have their Underdog Rescues feature. You get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury occurs and that causes you to lose that play. You actually don't lose. You get your entry fee right back. Underdog is the best place to play Champions. Download the app and listen up here. Sign up with my promo code Anthony and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Anthony, and then you can get that bonus cash up to $1,000. So again, deposit now at Underdog, promo code Anthony, get the $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Must be 18 or older, present in Illinois, or present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. And every month during the season, you can register to win tickets to an upcoming Blues game. Enter to score free Blues tickets now at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 app. Brought to you by Ted Cruz, serving original frozen custard since 1929. This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
So there's not much to say about the Nolan Arenado situation that we haven't already said before. The Cardinals remain at a stalemate here unless the Red Sox, who are reportedly still interested in Alex Bregman, unless the Red Sox get hyperactive and the Cardinals are okay to eat some of the salary, Nolan Arenado is probably going to be here. If Nolan Arenado is here and the Cardinals are serious about dumping payroll, which, I mean, you've already cut out some of this money. But if they are serious about it, how much do you guys think that Sonny Gray could be on the move? Because the money kind of matches up.
You got a youth movement, Anthony. It's not a salary dump. It's a youth movement.
Right. All of a sudden, it's like, we can't move Arenado. Our youth movement has shifted to Sonny Gray, who makes about, $63 million, I think, is left on his deal.
What does Michaelis got left? Just
17,
18 or something?
I think 17.
17, 18, 1 year.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
No.
You could. I'm going to have to agree with you, Jamie. If they move on from Sonny Gray, they did tell us, or we did have the vibe or the feeling that that's a youth movement. We got to open up positions. We got to get that third base spot. We need Nolan Gorman to get every day at bats. This is the most important part of our offseason process. That and developing our younger players. This is our goal. You can't trade Nolan Arenado. Oh, well, Sonny Gray, it's fun knowing you.
Wait a second.
Let me do some numbers.
The salaries,
17,
this one matches up. Who's that, Gray? S. Gray? Yeah, the numbers match up. Let's trade him.
You know what I wonder, though, guys? And maybe it's because you can't move him, but why has Contreras' name not popped up?
I couldn't agree more. Jamie, I had the same thought.
You got to play him freaking first base now?
And you know what's interesting, too? Were you on yesterday when I brought this up? Why not move him back to catcher then? If Arenado stays at third, why, if the whole idea is to get playing time for guys, why would you have Contreras play first base then? Why wouldn't you move him back to his natural position, catcher? Because you're going to soak up some playing time at first base with Alec Burleson then. And your DH, because now you have to play Nolan Gorman at second and DH as opposed to just playing him at third.
What about Gorman at first?
I mean, you could.
Well, why not? I mean, Pete Alonso's a big old dude, and Nolan Gorman's the same physical build.
I mean, if you play third, you should be able to play first.
Goldie's a big dude. First baseman usually a profile to be a pretty big guy over there.
And soft. You got to have soft hands.
You do.
I don't
helps
think
when you're a lefty.
I don't think
Olive.
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Remember that commercial?
I saw you putting some on your hands earlier. I wasn't sure what that was.
No, that wasn't Paul Olive.
Okay. I didn't want to shake hands.
That was pure coconut oil. Loves it.
That's what it was.
Keep your hands really soft. Carey.
Okay.
When you're holding hands with your significant other, they notice.
Keep that in mind.
Use your coconut oil, and you smell fantastic.
Honestly, though, guys, that's.
Just want to lick your hands.
You can't have a natural segue. You can't transition off of that. You just can't.
Bradford just stepped into my job for 2 seconds there.
Right in it.
How do I transition when there is no transition?
I am perplexed, though, because after this season, and it was made known relatively quickly, we all understood Paul Goldschmidt is not going to be returning next summer. Wilson Contreras. So the pivot is to automatically position him there at first base. You're looking to, I guess, preserve more health and ensure at-bats for a healthy middle-of-the-lineup threat for a good portion of the season. So under this current arrangement, though, that was all well and good when you thought that you were also getting Arenado off of the books. So who becomes the odd man out right now for ABs? It's, the guy who for the better part of the first half last season was your most consistent hitter in Alec Burleson.
Yeah.
How does he wind up getting regular ABs? He can't.
That's exactly why I'm saying you push Contreras back to catcher. If you have to keep Arenado, why not move Contreras back to catcher? But Jamie brought up the point of why isn't Contreras open to being dealt as well? I would think.
What trade value does Contreras have? No, and because I think he's a spectacular player. I love him.
Yeah,
but
he was a hell of a hitter last year, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to trade for a DH?
Somebody might.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not. You want him on your roster.
I'm with you in that he
DH
should
and backup catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
I just don't know what his market was before the Cardinals said, gotta have him.
What was his market after?
You know what I mean?
They said we're moving him to center field.
Gotta have him.
Left field or wherever they were moving him to.
It just creates this perplexing trickle-down effect because in order to move Contreras then to first base, conceivably, if you still place that premium on defense then behind the plate, because why else are you moving him to first base consistently? All right, maybe he'll get a few starts here and there behind the plate, but your guys behind the plate now are Pages and Herrera. And so as a result as well, if you give excessive playing time to Pages because you love the defense, you love his ability to control the game behind the plate, well, then Herrera, the guy you wanted to see more of as well as far as ABs were concerned, he's marginalized because there's nowhere else to put him.
Totally. Honestly, if you're the Cardinals, you almost want to move on from both Contreras and Arenado because third base now becomes open for Gorman. First base, you have basically the full time for Alec Burleson, and you free up some other spots there, so you don't have to do the utility thing. But ultimately, and you have another, that DH spot becomes open again, which personally, I think Jordan Walker's a DH. I don't see him as an outfielder. Carey, you disagree? I'd point to all the mistakes that he made, all 787.
He's still learning.
No,
huh?
yeah,
he's
no,
pretty athletic.
Yeah.
You don't want that athleticism just coming up to bat once, 2, 3, 4 times a game. Like you want the athleticism.
Do you bat more if you play in the field?
Nah, you bat more if you higher up in the lineup.
That's true.
7th or 8th, here we come.
Yeah. But ultimately, what you're talking about is the two things don't vibe.
No.
We want to go with this youth movement, yet there's no spots unless you make some. Unless you trade Arenado, unless you trade Contreras. And I don't think either of them are going to go.
Oh.
So now we're back to just the salary dump.
Yes.
And if you do that, you're just pissing off your fan base.
Yeah,
That's all you're doing.
And you know what else
Why
doesn't
stop now?
Yeah, doesn't vibe in this instance. Circling back to the initial topic, if you indeed feel inclined, then you cannot get rid of Arenado. You can't offload him. If you go into the waters there with Gray, then ironically, it becomes an issue that you were facing going into last offseason, except you don't have nearly as much talent in the rotation, either proven talent, because I understand last year, okay, he logged his fewest innings since 2021. He was shut down early. He had just 166. But how are you going to fill those innings? Because what was the key point last offseason? We need innings. We need insurance there. Enter Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn. We're going down the same road, potentially.
Totally. And I almost don't want to discuss the whole Gray thing because I don't think the Cardinals should move on from Gray. Like, for us to talk about a salary dump, I don't care about their finances. You screwed that up. I could screw up my own finances. So I don't want to talk about Gray. I don't want to talk about Gray if you happen to be traded. You know what I mean? Jamie.
I can't focus.
Got my own problems. You know?
I don't think that they care that you know that they are trying to dump salary.
No, they don't.
I think they are.
But I mean, we're having the conversation on radio, and it's like people are listening. Why would you dump Gray? I'm with you.
They are trying to dump salary. They are trying to make up for the lost salary that they didn't get from Butts being in seats last year. They are trying to prepare themselves for what will seem to be the same scenario going into 2025. People not showing up. 3 million people not going through the gates. They are preparing for what feels like a down year so that their pockets are not impacted as much as they probably were this past season. So with that being said, and if you're a fan, that's unfair, right?
Agreed.
It's unfair to tell us, oh, we're going to let the young guys play. We know we got a couple of guys that are under salary that are maybe future Hall of Famers and Nolan Arenado and potential Cy Young Award winners and Sonny Gray. But who wants to see those guys, right? Yeah. You want to see a young team. Now, we want to see a team that wins. If they're young, then that's cool.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah,
that's
if
what
they're
we
young,
want to see.
Bonus, but
cool.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason, and then it'll be an interesting season to see how it all goes.
So we do have Blues Q's coming up in about 15 minutes, 314-399-9646. Get your Blues-related questions in right now to the Air Comfort Service text line. But coming up next, under-the-radar storylines for the NFL Wildcard Weekend. We're going to do game by game. We're just going to start off with the first two games, though, this weekend. So not the national narrative storylines, but the under-the-radar ones in the first two games of the wild card. That would be the Texans and Chargers and the Ravens and Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Nah,
yeah, I don't believe it. Yeah. It's next on 101 ESPN.
You could do better.
101 ESPN's Blues Fan of the Week.
New year, new fan of the week. Damian Harkins of Vandalia, Illinois. Our 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week.
Submit your pick now to be the next 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week and take home a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues game. Learn more at 101ESPN.com.
If you're interested in building
Hey, it's Super Bowl champ Carey Davis, and with the weather being the way that it has, I want you to be safe out there on the road. But if you happen to get into a little bit of a fender bender, my good friends over at All Things Appearance can help you out. They can cover all things auto-related, from small scratches to major body work, standard maintenance, dent repair, collision repair. They can do it all. The owner, Jeff, will work with you. He will work with your insurance company, your warranty companies, to make sure you're getting the best price possible. Jeff also wants to make sure that the customers are being treated right and fairly. He's not going to overcharge you. He's not going to make you pay for something that you don't need like other places might. Even if it means he's not going to make as much money, he'd rather have you coming back as a happy customer than to try to get over on you. You can reach out to them, All Things Appearance, at 636-248-5051 or at allthingsappearance.com. Jeff is not only the owner, he's also the one that'll speak with you directly. He's the one that when you call, you're going to hear his voice. You're going to talk to him, the owner, directly. He will get to you, let you know what your car needs, let you know what you don't need, and get you back on the road as soon as possible. Reach out to him today, 636-248-5051, or reach out to them online at allthingsappearance.com.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Two pros and one average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
3:04, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. This weekend, NFL wildcard weekend starts. You've got the Chargers at the Texans on Saturday, and then you've got Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. We've heard the national storylines, the ones that are kind of, beating over our heads as we lead into the playoffs. But when it comes to under the radar storylines for each matchup, Carey, Chargers and Texans, what's your under the radar storyline?
Well, Jim Harbaugh getting back into the fold, having, you said it on Monday, probably, I think maybe a year sooner than what you thought this organization would be with him coming back. J.K. Dobbins, is he going to run the ball well? They've been leaning on him heavily. I know Justin Herbert had a pretty good year this year, but when they were winning games, there were games where Justin Herbert was throwing for 150 yards and you were leaning heavily on the run game. Can they get that run game going? Can Bosa and Khalil Mack get after the quarterback on the defensive side? Can they get after C.J. Stroud? And what do they do on the defensive side? And for Houston, it's one player. And I think it's C.J. Stroud. Like, what is he going to be able to do? Which version of C.J. Stroud is going to show up? That, to me, I think is the most important thing. If he's able to find receivers open, if he's able to run the game and run the ball and hand the ball off to Joe Mixon, I think they have a chance to win that game. But if he's turning the ball over, if he looks uncomfortable in the pocket, if those defensive ends and linebackers are able to create pressure in his face and him not have time, it's going to be a long day for the Houston Texans, and the Chargers probably walk away with it.
Yeah, see, that's where my under the radar storyline is. It's the Texans offense, and like what has happened here? Because they were the talk of the NFL last year, largely because they came out of nowhere. But C.J. Stroud was outstanding. I don't think you could just say, well, it's a sophomore slump. They have a better running back now in Joe Mixon and a more productive one, but they can't run the football. They added weapons but most of those weapons are now gone because Stephon Diggs got hurt, and so did Tank Dell. So now you're overly reliant on Nico Collins, and you also have, a decent tight end in Dalton Schultz, but one that certainly is not a game breaker. So is the offensive line the biggest issue for Houston? Is that unit the problem overall? I mean, you're going to have to do an autopsy. If the Texans lose this weekend at home, think about where they were a year ago. Same time. Hosting Cleveland as a home dog, winning that game in exciting fashion. If you were to lose this year at home after a largely disappointing season, you made the playoffs because your division stinks and nobody's trying. What's the autopsy look like on that offense? That to me is the under the radar storyline.
Anytime you are a quarterback, like we talked about it with Joe Burrow, like these quarterbacks who are extremely talented, but the protection up front does not do a good enough job. It doesn't matter how talented you are if you don't have time to throw the football. So for me, it has to be those things. Is C.J. Stroud, which version of him shows up? Throwing too many interceptions this year, not taking care of the football, but it all comes down to, can they keep him upright and give him an opportunity? You hit the nail on the head with the injuries that they have at the receiver core, but you got to find a way to make something happen. It's the playoffs. Everybody's injured. You got excuses. Throw them out the window.
But it's like Bobby Slowick. The offensive coordinator for Houston, Bobby Slowick, he was getting head coach interviews last year.
Yeah.
And then there was no progression. He didn't add to it. C.J. Stroud took a step back. Now we can talk about everything that surrounded that, but that's kind of my point. It's like this Houston team that we all thought, oh wow, with C.J. Stroud, so all of a sudden, boom, they're right in the mix with, maybe not the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens, but boy, they're right there, right? Like, so how do they get even closer to that? Now we're talking more about the Chargers and the Broncos potentially getting past, surpassing Houston in the AFC rankings. It just happened quick, in my opinion. And you can't blame. Normally, it's like, hey, the defense stinks. This defense for Houston does not stink.
No,
the defense is legit.
I'll stay away from the C.J. Stroud regression conversation. There's been so much of that in national circles throughout the second half of the campaign. But I do think, Carey, you referenced, obviously, the ground attack for the Chargers. For me, it is absolutely, this is not a big, bold statement, but it's imperative to try to establish some sense of a ground game if you are Houston. Now, down the stretch, injuries notwithstanding, ineffective ability there up front to control at the point of attack. Mixon has only had 20 carries in a game once since November the 18th, and yet we have seen what he has been able to do when on the postseason stage in the past. If he can make things slightly easier, again, with the help, with the conjunction of the offensive line, to keep Houston in the ball game. And on the other side as well, for LA, I believe still that the Chargers finished with the best scoring defense in the entire league. But there were a couple of slip-ups down the stretch. Do you fall into a lull? Do you fall into a bit of a predicament, as you did versus Mayfield and the Buccaneers about a month ago? Denver, it wasn't pretty 3 weeks ago either. So there were some occasions during the most important stretch of the schedule when that defense did get gouged. So maybe if Stroud is able to establish some kind of a rhythm early and you keep the sticks moving, could be a little more interesting than we think.
Yeah, so the Chargers, for me, like the under the radar story for the Chargers is Jim Harbaugh was able to build a winner quickly because he focused on what a lot of organizations don't. He didn't prioritize the wide receiver when everybody thought he was going to. Ladd McConkey winds up being the number one guy, but they were when they took Joe Alt, they had a couple of wide receivers there that they could have taken. Instead, he goes with the offensive lineman, ran the ball, keep the game close, play good defense, win games. That's kind of like that Jeff Fisher motto that has been panned, and yet, well, Jim Harbaugh's obviously a better coach, but you get my point in that
that was unfair. I like Jeff.
Went to a Super Bowl with that.
He's a good coach.
That motto.
Yeah, I don't think that was the motto. Then
play good defense, keep the game close, win every game 20-17.
That is 7 and 9 bull.
Unless you're Jim Harbaugh.
I like my Justin Herbert, and I know you disagree with this, Anthony. But I like my Justin Herbert throwing less than 30 passes. That's my Justin Herbert. That Justin Herbert is my Justin Herbert. 20 to 25.
What's your problem with Justin Herbert?
I don't have a problem with Justin Herbert. I just like my Justin Herbert to be less than 30 passes. Run the ball, man.
You're acting like he's Trent Dilfer.
I'm not.
Like let's take the game out of his
Trent
hands.
Dilfer won a championship, didn't he? So he's no Trent Dilfer.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
He's no Trent Dilfer.
You're acting like he's a game manager. He's not a game manager.
I didn't say he's a game manager, but I like my Justin Herbert with 30 or less pass attempts. That's my Justin.
Mm-hmm.
You throw more than that, we got a problem. Now, he did throw for more than that the last 3 games, but they were playing the Vegas Raiders and New England Patriots, so he's just stacking up numbers.
Fair enough.
Padding his stats.
He's a stud.
What did you see from Johnston down the stretch in the second half of the year? I'm not talking about the regular season finale and some of those empty numbers. How much did he develop in your eyes?
He got better. He's hit or miss at times. I saw some games where he was he just could not catch a pass.
Mm-hmm.
And going into the season, I was like, this dude is a bust. Like, that was my opinion on him. Like, he's not going to. He's a first-round pick. He can't catch the ball. And then he had games where he was actually catching the deep ball. You could understand why they were okay with Mike Williams leaving, why they were okay with Keenan Allen leaving, because you felt like, he figured some things out. But what I see from him is inconsistency. So I think it's going to be important to see how well he performs this weekend. Pressure is on. The lights get bigger once the playoffs hit, and we'll see how he performs. But, yeah, keep Justin Herbert below 30 passes, and we'll be okay. JK, Gus, run the ball, baby. Gus the bus. Hey, turn around.
Is he hurt?
Is he hurt?
I think Gus is hurt.
I haven't watched.
Gus Edwards.
Is Gus Edwards hurt?
How do you do against Baltimore last year?
He was good.
Yeah.
JK was good, too, till he got hurt.
I like my Gus Edwards at about 3 carries a game.
He hasn't played in a couple weeks. He'll be back for the playoffs.
I think the Ravens had 3 total carries against the Chiefs. That title game.
That was ridiculous.
Let's just not run the ball ever. We'll see how that works out.
Recipe for success.
All right, we didn't get to the Ravens and Steelers, so we'll save that for later on. We do have our Blues cues coming up, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. So you got any Blues-related questions, send those in. Blues cues next.
TR Hughes Homes has great prices on beautiful new homes at 4 desirable locations. TRHughes.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Why Brown and Crouppen? If you hire us, you're going to get great service, you're going to get a great result. We're the winningest, and quite frankly, we're the kindest.
A strong voice, an advocate.
Why Brown and Crouppen? We provide a family. We have the power, the resources, and the ability to do what you need us to do, which is to get every cent that you deserve for the terrible thing that was done to you.
That's why Brown and Crouppen. The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
You can get an insurance quote anywhere. Ask yourself, what is my provider doing for me? Do I have to hit prompts? Do I have to deal with chatbots? Am I put on hold? Is it always a different person? Are they local? Are they proactive in the community? Do they represent the number one?
TMA, then nominate yourself to be the morning after listener of the month. Sign up now at 101ESPN.com or TMASTL.com.
The TMA Listener of the Month Club is quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro Tequila.
Strap your yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN. Now, it's time for the Fast Lane's Blues Cues.
If you have a Blues-related question, you can send it into the Air Coverage Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, Blues-related questions for our Blues Cues segment. Bradford Bruns filling in for an Andrew Marsh that's under the weather today, and he's got your questions.
Jamie, let's do it. First off, your leadoff hitter today is the Grant Francis fan club, and he asks, why does it feel as if this retool has stalled or even gone backward? Right now on pace for fewer points than last year. Tell him.
How has it gone backwards?
One man's opinion.
Would you, just asking you guys, and I understand the question, but I'm asking you guys, when you talk about this team or watch the games, does last year's team seem better?
No.
I don't think so.
Like,
you've actually, to me, the rebuilds or the retool or the whatever is already better because you have Jim Montgomery now as your head coach. And this isn't me, taking shots at,
Berube or Bannister?
Drew Bannister. But for me, it's like you got Jim Montgomery to oversee things now. You have somebody that has won a lot of games in the NHL and has done so in different spots. He's a perfect fit for you. So regardless of what happens on the ice, even if they stay tethered to that 500 record, you're still better than you were a year ago because Jim Montgomery's behind your bench.
Yeah, and I'd go one step further, and you added Philip Broberg to your defense core, too. I mean, you added a top four defenseman to your core.
Right.
You added Cam Fowler, who's a top four defenseman, to your defense core. You've added Dylan Holloway, and you moved on from Kasperi Kapanen, and you have Dylan Holloway. I think Dylan Holloway's a better player.
I would say so.
You moved on from Kevin Hayes, and you signed Radek Faksa.
Mm-hmm.
I think Radek Faksa has had a bigger impact than Kevin Hayes.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, the points are one thing. Right now, the Western Conference is a better conference than the Eastern Conference. It's just a fact. Right now, the teams are better. So if that's the case, then the Blues, even though they might have the same point totals, it's a stronger conference.
Yeah, top to bottom.
Yeah. So I don't think it's stalled. I certainly don't think it's going backwards. I think that they're right on track here, quite honestly.
Courtesy of the 636 over the long haul, Jamie. Can the Blues win the Western Conference with a big three up front of Booch, Thomas, Kyrou?
Oh, they're going to need more than that to win the Western Conference. I mean, let's just look at the Western Conference. I mean, look at Colorado, look at some of their top players, and look at the Oilers and some of their top players.
Name one.
Yeah, there's unfortunately I can name 3 or 4 guys on each of those rosters. Look, the Blues are going to be a team that, much like the year where they won the Cup and years before that and whatnot, they're not going to have that dynamic superstar. Maybe Dvorsky, maybe Snuggerud, maybe. I still say maybe because it's so difficult to be a star in the NHL. But those teams that they had all those years were really solid, and they had just a good team. And I think that that's what they can duplicate here. I think that's what they're trying to duplicate. When you look at the depth of the roster, you've got 4 pretty solid lines. Now, would you like to see more output from some of the guys? Well, yeah, but then you're also going to upgrade some of that, too. We've seen what Dvorsky can do. We know what Snuggerud can do. We know what Stancil is capable of doing. All these guys that are out there that are a year or 2 away from being on your roster could significantly upgrade the roster. So I think they're just fine. Do I think they're going to win the Western Conference? I think they can, but it won't be just by outpowering teams.
Right. The 217 asking, hey, some of the recent iffy goaltending numbers, perhaps more of a reflection actually of worse defensive play along the blue line?
I don't know. You look at a couple of these games, and Binnington, he's had a couple of bad nights. Hofer had a bad one in Columbus, so that'll affect the numbers. And you just get a couple of games where maybe you're not on your game. You had 2 games this year, 8-1 losses to Ottawa and Washington. that will affect your numbers for almost the entire season.
Yeah.
So the numbers are a little bit skewed because of some of the one-offs here and there, but I mean, I'm not worried about the goaltending. Was it great these last two games? Well, no, it wasn't. But am I worried? No, I'm not worried. Out of all the things on that team, I think I might be the least worried about the goaltending.
Jamie, your next four opponents, three, we should say, actually, 4-game homestand coming up. Anaheim tomorrow on 101 ESPN. Then you have Columbus again, plus Calgary and Calgary. Yeah. What is a reasonable record over that span? Or desirable?
For me, it's 4-0. That's just what it is. Like, you have to be approaching these 4 games as a player, as a coach, as a team. This not just 4 winnable games. We should be 4-0. Calgary will cause problems because it's tough to beat a team that you play back-to-back like that, like the same team, because it just is. But that has to be the mentality for me. 4-0 or it's a failure.
I mean, I think that's fair given some of the games, unfortunately, like last night that you kind of gave away.
Yep.
So I think that's fair.
Jamie, last one that we have here on this edition of Blues Clues. Is it a surefire guarantee that Jimmy Snuggerud will be joining the note after this collegiate season?
No, it's not. Look, Jimmy Snuggerud still has to earn it. Like, you don't just step off the college ice and walk over and all of a sudden you're playing second line for the Blues. Now, a lot of that will depend on where the Blues are in the standings. Are the Blues a playoff team at that point? If they are, they're probably going to send Jimmy Snuggerud to the American Hockey League. Get him some reps, play against some pro players, play against NHL guys that are down in the minors. If you're out of it, then yeah, I could see Jimmy Snuggerud coming right in and having a shot at playing 5, 6, 7 games, whatever's left on the schedule at that point, just to give him a little cup of coffee. But I don't think Dvorsky or Snuggerud, like, they're not anointed. Just here's your jersey, go get them, guys. Like, they're not Connor Bedard, they're not Sidney Crosby, they're not in that group where you're like, okay, it's an automatic. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to earn it, and if they show that they are promising enough at the American League level, or even if they're just practicing up here, they'll get a chance to do it, and then it's up to them.
Jamie, we had an audio from Monty earlier. He was talking about grit. Yep. And I was telling the guys, one thing as a coach you never want to not have on a team is grit and effort. How do you get them to have more grit for 60 minutes? How do you is it practice? Is it practice, scenarios? Yeah. What is the grit? How do you get it to show up in games?
Yeah, well, I think they've played with grit this year. I do. Like, define grit, like, everybody's got a different definition of it. Like,
for me, grit would be playing a full 60 minutes, finishing the game. Like, yeah. I was joking earlier, they won 4-2 because I turned it off. That's how it should be. For me, grit is playing and not allowing. Grit was getting back into the game when you're down 2-0. Mm-hmm. Lack of grit is allowing them to win the game 6-4.
Yeah, I agree with that. But since Monty's taken over, the one common theme from every team that they've played against, and because I know players and coaches on other teams, is how hard this team's playing. Like, man, you guys are hard to play against. Matthew Tkachuk, very honest. He's like, you guys are hard to play against. Like, everywhere you turn, there's somebody. Mm-hmm. So I think that the grit, determination, effort has been there for the most part. Is it always going to be perfect? No, it's not. And last night was a great example of that, where you gave a game back to a team that you shouldn't have given the game back to. And you learn from that. And that's part of the process of having so many young guys on the roster. And this is what Jim Montgomery says, is we're learning how to win.
Right.
Because it's not a given that you just win hockey games. You have to learn how to win. And when you learn how to win, you can do it over and over and over again. And then you know what the effort is that's required to beat teams in the National Hockey League.
All right, we've got Prove Me Wrong coming up next. So this is kind of a fan favorite. We have to step into the courtroom of the Honorable Bradford Bruns now.
Oh, boy.
Bradford Bruns will be judge, jury, and executioner next. So, but we do need your case files, basically. What do you want Carey, Jamie, me to prove wrong? Prove me wrong next to the Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
If you've been fighting with that car over the last couple of days because of the bad weather or maybe it's not starting, head out to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Go ask my friends about their New Year, New Key sales event going on. Not only do they have over 700 vehicles all in one location at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum, they have heavily discounted the prices on every vehicle in stock. So we're talking about new Nissans discounted up to $11,000 off. We're talking about several brand new models priced under $30K, all zero down and no payment options for 3 months on select used vehicles, and they also have no payments for 6 months. That's right, no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now. Plus, you get the low financing rates like 0% APR for 60 months on select new Nissan models. Every 2025 Nissan model in stock at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum comes with their free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, you get that peace of mind with that 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back to Auto Centers and they'll refund your money. AutoCentersNissan.com is where you can start. When you head out to the dealership in Herculaneum, tell them Anthony Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
This Friday, it's the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State and Texas. Pre-game at 6, kickoff at 6:30. The NCAA plays on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues outmaneuvered by Minnesota. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is powered by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Tuesday night, STL dropped its second straight road contest, 6-4, at the hands of the Wild. Jordan Kyrou scoring a second period power play goal in defeat. The Blues, their next bounce-back opportunity comes tomorrow as Anaheim arrives downtown. 101 ESPN will have the pregame for you beginning at 6 p.m. post Fastlane. This SportsCenter update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, we typically do this every Wednesday here in the Fast Lane. It's Prove Me Wrong. This is where you send in a statement to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. And provided we're paying attention to the question, me, Jamie, Carey will have an opportunity to prove you wrong.
Look at that. Sometimes it's difficult.
Sometimes it's very difficult.
So backwards.
Yeah.
I get so confused. I get confused too, Carey. Don't feel bad.
So the judge today is not the one and only Andrew Marsh. It is Bradford Bruns who's filling in for Andrew Marsh.
Perfect role for me. My father always said, hey, you belong in the courtroom, especially during adolescence. Anyway, moving forward.
There you go. You made it.
There we go. From the 314, gentlemen, prove me wrong. The Jordan Binnington contract, at the time it was awarded, financial figures, number of years, was a mistake this organization will end up regretting.
Jordan Binnington?
Yes.
You said Jordan Bennington,
I did.
right?
Yes, I did.
Bradford, just out of curiosity, Your Honor, just out of curiosity for clarification. No, I'm just clarification. The same Jordan Bennington that is the first goaltender to ever win a Stanley Cup for the Blues, right?
That would be accurate.
Okay. So that's where I'm going to start, Your Honor, is the fact that this question's even being asked is troublesome to me because, quite honestly, I would have just given him that contract and he didn't have to play another game the rest of his life because he brought us, Lord Stanley, to the Lou.
How many times has that happened?
0 before that,
Okay,
Carey.
just
Actually, that's not true. Got brought here a few times by other players who won it and brought it back here, but not the Blues.
Yeah.
So that's things right there. No, I mean, when you look at Jordan Bennington and you look at the way he's played with won the following year after the Stanley Cup, he was arguably the best goalie in the NHL going into the bubble. Then we had this crazy bubble thing that went on, and we know how that all went. But Jordan Bennington has been, at times in the last couple of years, the only reason that the Blues have been competitive in certain games. On some nights, the only reason they're worth watching. So can you imagine not having that goaltender? And let's put Jordan Bennington's his credentials up against other goaltenders in the league that are being paid $8, $9, $10, $11 million right now. Those guys can't hold his water. And Jordan Bennington is still out here on an absolute team-friendly deal. You would have no problem right now if Doug Armstrong picked up the phone and said, hey, NHL, Jordan Bennington's available. You would get phone call after phone call. He wouldn't know what to do. He'd spend the next 2 days trying to answer phone calls from teams that want Jordan Bennington, let alone the fact that Jordan Bennington's probably going to be the starting goaltender for Team Canada in the Four Nations Cup. I don't think he's being overpaid. And quite honestly, I think it's embarrassing that we asked this question.
Mr. Rivers, I refuse to be a prisoner of the moment. I let you cook as well you should have. We have no further reason to explore this topic.
There we go.
Next up, prove me wrong. Guys, MU's window of competing in the SEC, it slammed shut with the departures of Luther Burden III plus Brady Cook.
I mean, it's yeah.
Would you like to defer?
I believe what my colleague was about to say is that love is blind. And sometimes we get into a situation where we become that prisoner of the moment that you had mentioned, Judge.
Yes.
Great term there. When it comes to Mizzou and its prominence, Eli Drinkwitz has already proven time in and time out that he can recruit. He also, at one point, you thought, okay, well, he was going to be the play caller full term, and he has taken a back seat at times when it comes to that. He has hired new coordinators at times and new assistant coaches, and this team had high expectations. Unfortunately, this past year, with Brady Cook not, maybe living up to
injuries, Anthony,
the expectations that a lot of us had, the season fell a little short. However, I believe in Eli Drinkwitz, the recruiter. I love what he's done in the transfer portal over the last couple of years, and I think he'll continue to breed a competitor out there in Columbia. I do not think that the window has slammed shut. Last time I checked, there is no salary cap in college football.
Mr. Stalter, allow me to say that I can be bought. I completely agree with you in this instance because...
Mr. Mizzou.
Judge went to Mizzou.
Fair enough. No, but... And yes, this is only one aspect. It's only one component. But as much stock as we put into the ballyhooed freshman recruiting classes, the incoming freshmen and so forth, Missouri just continues to make waves on paper when it comes to the transfer additions. And what were you worried about this season, the most in particular on the defensive side of the football? You had a suspect secondary. You were gouged consistently over the top and down the field. At least on paper, you have done everything possible to remedy that particular unit, and you have more than created a competition now at quarterback. You have a number one waiting in the wings with Bo Pribula from Penn State. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's going to do more than just keep the seat warm. I think for Zollers, you're setting up a competition to come in the next couple of years, and this system has demonstrated you can develop running backs as well beyond just Cody Schrader.
Damn right.
Sorry.
All you had to say was, what do you think, Judge?
Guys, prove me wrong. The Cardinals will not make it to a Fall Classic, to a World Series in the next 6 years.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Are you kidding me? 6 years? You gonna tell me it's gonna take 6 whole seasons for this franchise, this organization? How many teams got more championships than the Cardinals, huh?
Only one.
Only one. So that means they're due. It's the due factor. It happens. It might take a decade from the last time it happened, but it's gonna happen again because they are your St. Louis Cardinals. So you better believe it's gonna happen well before this 6-year span. Hell, I expect it to happen within the next 2 to 3 years because they are the St. Louis Cardinals. You figure out a way to move Nolan Arenado. You know why? You got to get that money off the books because you're going to spend some money elsewhere sooner or later. Don't you shake your head, Jamie. Yes, you are. There's going to be money spent in other places not named Nolan Arenado. And if Sonny Gray got to go too, he got to go. It is what it is. We will move on and be better for it because there's only one team in the entire world, in the major leagues, that has more championship than your St. Louis Cardinals. You better believe they'll be there before 6 years. You crazy? It's crazy talk.
Mr. Davis, that was about as impassioned a defense for going on the offensive as I have heard.
Yeah.
In fact, even Mr. Mozeliak wants to weigh in on this particular case.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah, he likes it.
Nonetheless, Carey, I must say,
set him up, slam him down.
In order to set up a window or a time frame, I'm of the opinion that you need to have some sort of a tangible direction. Is there a direction at this point in time? We discussed it earlier in the show. We are spinning wheels at this moment and not just outside in the winter weather. So until I get more clarification on that front, my good gentleman, I have to, denounce you in that
That hurts. Way to go.
Yeah, you know what, Carey, you tried.
You tried.
Yeah.
There's no right answer.
You handed a tough case.
Well, it was a tough one. Nobody believed in us, including the judge.
Yep, that's correct.
We have time for one more?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Prove me wrong, guys. The Chiefs, indeed, despite the gauntlet coming up in 20 minutes in the AFC with Buffalo, with Baltimore, etc., the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes at the helm, will once again figure out a way to get it done and three-peat.
Have you seen this team play? I mean, I know they've won games. I mean, they got help by a toe in Baltimore. Isaiah Likely stepping out of bounds. They got helped by a referee when the defender.
Which one?
Yeah, pick one, right?
Yeah.
You know, you were fortunate to block a field goal. Oh, hey, no counter. What are you doing? I don't know. Boom, ball hits you in the chest. No chance to win the game. They have found. You got to take the rabbit's foot out of Andy Reid's pocket. That's what's going on. They have been winning games by luck. This is not a real thing. And when the playoffs happen, you play better teams. You don't play teams that don't know the ball is about to be snapped. You don't play teams that don't know how to block up front and prevent you from kicking a game-winning field goal. You play teams that are locked in, dialed in from the start to the finish. They got grit. They play with effort and energy. And this Kansas City team, and I just don't see it, you know? I've seen a lot this year, but I don't see that come playoff time.
In the AFC, no question about it, the Bills, the Ravens, among others, play with grit, moxie, and guts galore. However, remind me where teams must travel in order to advance to the Super Bowl. You have to go through Arrowhead once again, which means until I actually see it and I believe it, Kansas City still has one less game in order to make it all of the way. Either Buffalo or Baltimore will knock one or the other out. The odds are more favorable, I'm afraid, for the Chiefs.
We'll revisit this.
And that is
when
fair.
that happens, I want my ding. Ding. Yeah, I want it.
You're not going to hear it.
Nope.
You're not going to hear it.
Are you a Kansas City fan as of now?
Not
Are you
yet.
going to wait
No,
till
it's not the bye week.
It's
the bye week before the Super Bowl.
Oh, should I hop on?
You should do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
All right.
Give me my ding it now. It just happened.
I just want to make you happy.
It just happened.
Ding it now.
Ding it
Carey,
now.
can I see those glasses over there?
You know, when Anthony chooses to, I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
looking at you.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to help, man.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Do I have the?
He doesn't have it.
He doesn't have the sound.
You don't have it? You don't have the sound?
We're searching. It's me. It's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in right now with these Kansas City Chiefs. Have you not been paying attention since 2019? Have you not seen what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Swiftie have done since 2019? Thank you. Have you not seen this defense under Steve Spagnuolo every year up until last year questioned? They don't have deep threats. They don't have this. They have to play on the road. All they do is lift Lombardi trophies, my friend. My Chiefs for the next month and a half. They're going to show you again.
All of St. Louis should know this. If they don't, that's the kiss of death.
Yeah.
It wasn't the kiss of death last year?
It was. You jumped on when they were already rolling.
Yeah. Wasn't the kiss of death for my UConn Huskies the last 2 years?
They were already rolling. It was the kiss of death for the Yankees. It was the kiss of death for Booch last night.
Booch was due. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Officially on the Chiefs bandwagon right now. Jumping on early this
I'm glad you guys all got your goals.
Oh, you didn't get it?
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Holloway was robbed.
My gosh. Jamie, that was all we needed to complete
the first time ever.
The 4 spot there. Was that Fury? Or Fleury?
Fleury, yeah. I saw him in the pocket right there. I'm like, he's going to get, here it goes.
Yeah.
He shot that thing laser. I don't even think Fleury saw it. He almost tore his arm off. Damn it.
That was tough. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 to ESPN. Speaking of the Blues, any reason to read into what Monty said last night in terms of the grit? We've talked about this, but you'll hear the comments that he said. We'll dive into that conversation about the Blues and the grit and all that other stuff, and whether or not it's just kind of coach speak at this point, or does Monty have a point? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Start your day with the morning after on 101 ESPN. Get in the know first on everything St. Louis sports with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, and Martin Kilcoy. Listen to TMA weekday mornings from 7 to 11 a.m. on 101 ESPN. The morning after is presented by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm.
Well, if you're out driving around right now, you can already see how tough the driving is, and would be a perfect time to check your tires. Check the tread on your tires and make sure it's good, because I see so many cars slipping around, can't get out of the driveway, all that stuff. And if you do need tires, head over to Pure Performance. They've got everything in stock for you. They carry all kinds of tires, not just the oversized tires or the off-road vehicle tires. Nope, everyday tires for you. And right now is a perfect time to get in there and check it all out. They're also your one-stop shop when it comes to all aftermarket modifications. They got a great showroom, 25,000 square foot facility. It is the largest showroom in the area. And when you you get over there, by the way, walk in and ask for Shelby or Caleb. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to love to hear that. And then talk to them about tires or wheels or running boards or leveling kits, lift kits. All that stuff is available at Pure Performance. And they've got some microchips and things like that to help under the hood as well. And the technicians are fantastic at what they do. So please stop by in person, or at least, if nothing else, stop by online. Visit them at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
101 ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. Check out either the 101 mobile app or 101ESPN.com for your chance to win a signed puck autographed by Blues defenseman Justin Falk.
Falk shoots it. He scores!
Get entered to win that Justin Falk signed puck right now, either at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app, powered by the Schaefer Door Company.
This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
Where we needed to bear down more, and we need that kind of, like I call it, grit. It's just you got to want to win that battle so that you can move pucks forward, so that you can either live another day or produce some offense going the other way. I didn't like how we handled the adversity today.
So was Jim Montgomery following last night's loss, a game in which you had a 4-2 lead. You had all the momentum following the first 5 minutes of the second period, and you played pretty well in the first, 13 minutes or so of the first period, but you wound up losing the game. With Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Jamie, do you agree with Jim Montgomery's statements in that there does need to be a kind of a bear-down factor to the Blues, more grit, more we gotta lock things down more, maybe play more fundamental hockey? Or how do you interpret his words?
I don't interpret it anyway. I think it's pretty direct. I mean, that's the first time that Jim Montgomery's really had something that's just like very direct, like to the point about not being happy about his team. Yeah. Up until this point, it's all been like, well, we're growing, we're learning, we're maturing, we're rounding out our game. Last night was just simply that. He said it very professionally. I didn't like the way we handled the adversity. Basically, how did we fumble blank this game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you read through the coach speak, that's kind of what it is. And he wasn't happy about it.
How did we fast lane this thing up?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And following the game, the players weren't happy either.
Yeah.
Those guys are ticked off, as they should be, but they knew that they let one slip away. And sometimes, Carey, you know this, and Anthony, you know this from playing sports our whole lives, you feel the game slipping away, you don't want it to, but there's just nothing you can do about it. And it's like quicksand sometimes. Then you start,
Shane Falco.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Shane Falco. Where is he now? We need him. That was great. I thought he was going to play for the Chiefs on the weekend.
Bengals were open.
No kidding. But sometimes you just can't correct it while it's happening.
Yeah.
But you have to identify it and correct it following the game. And today sucked because there was supposed to be a practice today. You couldn't practice today because you're traveling all the way back from Minnesota because your plane couldn't make it in last night. So there are circumstances that prohibit you from getting to the rink today and getting back to business. But it'll be back to business tomorrow. And I couldn't agree more with Monty. And the players agree with it too, so which is good. Because if you have a coach that says something and the players are like, what the hell is he talking about? That's not good, obviously. But I think each player to a man knows that last night was a game that they should have had.
Is this because you said it earlier, you think they have been playing with grit based on what other players are saying. So if it's not just the grit or it's not the effort that is lacking, then you would say it's probably a talent level that is lacking. Not that they are not talented, but not as talented as other teams that they play against.
Yeah.
If you're not able to be consistent and do those things for 60 minutes, I would wonder how does that part get better and when does it get better?
So let's just be honest here for a second. No team plays a full 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Take the bet. They play the 60 minutes because you have to.
You got this 60-minute game, right?
Yeah, you're right. Okay. I should have worded that better. I knew this crowd would have trouble with it.
40? This is terrible. They played two periods out of three?
So take two. Every team is required to play 60, sometimes 65 minutes, depending on overtime. Now, not every team, in fact, not one team consistently plays well for 60 minutes at a time.
Gotcha.
Which is why you have momentum swings throughout the game because one team plays better than another in that moment. So I don't think it's a matter of not having the talent, and that's why you're not consistent. Like, would it help to have a 100-point guy? Yeah, it certainly would help. That's for sure. But I go back to my point of reference is November 25th. Jim Montgomery comes on board. When you look at each game from that moment on, they have competed. They have played well. They've put together pretty solid efforts. Has there been a full 60-minute effort? Well, no, because it's pretty much impossible. But you've had some really good efforts along the way. And last night, the second half of the game got away from them. You could say the start of the game too, but that was just weird the way that started. And you get down 2 goals, but then you were still controlling the play, even though you were down 2-0, and they started chipping away at the lead. But no, I just think it's a matter of, guys, that was unacceptable, which Monty has said it's unacceptable. You identify the problem, you tell them what it is, and then you get back to work, and then not only hope, you expect that tomorrow night's game is not just a different effort, it's a different result.
So let's hear from Jake Neighbors, too, because we heard Montgomery coming into this segment. I think what Jake Neighbors says here is important. Here's Jake.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they play hard, right? And you have to match that for 60 minutes. That's why they're one of the best teams in the league this year. Is they don't beat themselves. They play 60 hard and gritty minutes. So you have to find a way to match the intensity of the team you're playing. And obviously, every team has different identities, and this team plays with a lot of grit and a lot of physicality, and they play hard. And you can't let up for any amount of time, or you let them back in the game.
Do we need to run that again?
No, we're good. I was explaining something to Carey, that's all.
Some hockey. Yeah.
What?
Anyways, I think when the players start to echo what the head coach is also saying, I think that's a good thing. There was a moment at the end of the year when Gerard Mayo of the Patriots, formerly now of the Patriots.
Rest in peace.
Well, no. He just got fired.
Oh,
yeah, he's still living.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
I was going to say, he didn't
That's good.
pass away.
No.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I'll have people say, oh, he's gone. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh.
And then I'm afraid to ask what happened.
Yeah. They fired him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's terrible, but it's much better.
Yeah. So,
anyways, there was a linebacker for the Patriots that criticized the fan base for booing. Hey, don't boo. And Gerard Mayo had a meeting with that player and said, hey, listen, why don't we say this instead? And then the player went back out to the media and said, yeah, I'm doubling down. Don't boo. So if
that really happened?
Yes.
It's not great.
I forget the linebacker's name, but
oh my gosh.
If you've got players that are disagreeing with the coach through the media, what are they saying behind closed doors too?
Yeah.
So at least you got Jake Neighbors saying, yeah, we need more. We play with grit. We need more grit. He's echoing what is being said by his head coach too. That shows some chemistry and some cohesion.
As it should be. You got a great head coach. The players really like playing for Monty. Monty's an excellent coach, an excellent communicator. So when you have players echoing what the coach is saying, that means that the message is getting through properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the players are buying into that message.
Yep.
We've got the Gauntlet. We have a new Gauntlet contestant next on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company.
Well, my buddy Derek Stevens told me a long time ago in Detroit, he said, I'm going to make the world's largest sports book in Las Vegas. And he did so. He opened Circa Casino in Las Vegas, and it is the world's largest sports book. And now they've created the Circa Sports Illinois app, and they bring in the world's biggest sports book to your fingertips. Got that old school Vegas model. Caters to those familiar with betting, which is why their lines are as aggressive as they are. There's no promos either. The promos in the price and the payout. They've got tight money line splits. You're getting the best odds out of any app, too. Check it out. Any app out there, check out the odds. Circa Sports Illinois has got better odds than that. There's also no betting limits, so if you want to get a little bit crazy, you can go ahead and do that. And they also have exceptional customer service, and you will talk to a real person when you reach out, not an automated response or a chat bot. So please don't miss out on the action. Download and bet like a pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. Two pros and one average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling. 4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 401, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. We welcome in Trevor to the Gauntlet. What's up, Trevor?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing today. You got 3 options. You've got CD, you've got Jamie, or you've got me. Who would you like to take on?
I'm going to go CD.
Carey Davis.
I won hockey.
Oh,
what's that?
He said he wants hockey.
Wants hockey, but he wants Carey in hockey.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right,
hockey
Trevor.
guy. Okay, all right.
Some people say that.
Yeah, a lot of people.
A lot of people. Yep. All right, Trevor, good luck.
Oh, likewise. Thanks, bud.
He said good luck, too. All right.
I don't think he meant it, Carey, but he said it.
Didn't sound like it. It sounded like it was what?
He
I
paused
truly meant it.
Well, I don't know.
truly
Trevor,
meant it.
come on now.
Yeah, no.
Carey's out of the room. You can be honest with us now.
All right, Carey's in the cone of silence. Go ahead and tell Bradford to spin that wheel.
Bradford, spin that thing.
Let's find out what Trevor
Well, he wants hockey.
gets today.
Yeah, we'll see what he gets, but he wanted hockey.
He wanted hockey. Did the wheel listen? He
Absolutely not. It is the pigskin for this showdown. Football.
All right. Trevor, how you feel about
great.
football?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. The confidence. I like it.
There you go. All right. So, Trevor, you're going to get 4 football-related questions. Carey's going to get the same 4 football-related questions. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Here we go, Trevor. Question 1. The last time the Broncos made the playoffs, who was their head coach?
Oh, I know this. Shanahan? Final answer?
Yep.
That's probably wrong.
All right, second question. How many Super Bowls did the Denver Broncos lose before they won their first one in 1997?
4. Final answer.
Thank you.
Question number 3. This season, the Lions put up the 4th most points in a single season in NFL history. It's the most points, we should say, that a team has put up in a single season since which team scored 565 points in the 2018 campaign?
2018.
Mm-hmm.
Buccaneers, final answer?
Okay.
All right, Trevor, final question. Which team holds the record for most points in a single season in team history, scoring 606 points in the 2013 NFL season?
2013. Oh, man. Give me the options, please.
The Baltimore Ravens, the Denver Broncos, or the New England Patriots?
I was thinking Patriots. I'll say Patriots, final answer. And I want to say hi to my sweet boy, Jack.
What's up, Jack?
Good boy, Jack.
All right, let's get Carey back in from the cone of silence right now. Trevor, how you feeling?
Shaky. Very shaky.
Shaky at best. Okay, all right. Carey's going to walk in here from the cone of silence.
Fast.
It was fast.
Trevor, you must not have used any options. What the hell? I thought I failed. Why did my seat feel?
What the
I had to check with you because you know why I checked with you because you play pranks, and I literally thought the back was missing. It feels like
Anthony.
I don't want to sit here.
How many years have you known me?
I've known you.
Look, hey, you see? I know I'm not crazy.
Well, you pulled it out.
You asked me to.
Well, it's very thoughtful.
I've known you very well for about, 5-6 years.
Yeah. Have I ever played a prank on your chair?
Not once. No.
I haven't.
This is the same man that played a prank on the way to the station that cut me off and had me about to road rage as I was.
You were losing your mind, buddy. That was the greatest day ever.
I was losing it.
I could vouch for Jamie on this one. He did not mess with your chair. That's just a legit Hubbard chair breaking.
It almost, I leaned back. I'm like, I'm about to fall. And yeah, that was bad.
That chair has been around for a while. I still don't know why it's here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, I don't have a chair now. Now I got to sit in the electric chair.
It's a relic.
The hands.
That is weird.
Oh, yeah. All right, Carey, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You got football, buddy.
Oh.
You got football.
I like football.
Jamie?
Oh, you better pack a lunch, buddy.
Okay.
Question 1. The last time the Broncos made the playoffs, who was their head coach?
Ooh. What year was that? Oh, man. Give me a second. They'd been there since they had Tim Tebow. Ooh. All right. That's going to take me too long. Give me the options, please.
Gary Kubiak, John Fox, or Vic Fangio?
Did they make it under Vic? I don't think so. I'll go John Fox, final answer.
All right, I'm excited.
Tim Tebow.
All right, Carey, question 2. How many Super Bowls did the Denver Broncos lose before they won their first one in 1997?
Oh, man.
Now, do you need the clarification on years here? Or
Like how many years?
No, because you struggle with the Super Bowl.
I can figure that out.
Okay.
I want to say the number that came to my mind initially is 4. I don't need to take the options because that's 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. No, that's not 6. 3, 4, 5. All right, give me 4. Final answer.
Question number 3, Carey. This season, Jamie's Detroit Lions put up the 4th most points in a single season in NFL history. It's the most points, actually, a team has put up in a single year since which team scored 565 points back in 2018. The season, that is.
2018.
It's a lot.
It feels like a Rams team. Was it the Chiefs? They put up a lot. Oh, that might have been. Was that the Chiefs' first Super Bowl? Is that the year the Chiefs ended? I don't want the options, but I need the options.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Oh. Well, are you getting the options or not, sir?
Nah. Yep, give me the options.
Those options are the Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, New Orleans Saints.
Ooh. Saints. The old Aints, huh? That's a tough one. Yeah, you might have talked. You know what? I'm going with the Chiefs. Final answer. Anthony Stalter taught me anything. Chiefs are always the answer.
We learn from Anthony's failures.
Well, this is true.
At least somebody does. All right, question 4. Which team holds the record for most points in a single season in team history, scoring 606 points in the 2013 season?
2013? I hate it. Options, please.
The Baltimore Ravens, the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Oh, boy.
Which team holds the record for most points in a single season in team history, scoring 606 points in the 2013 season?
I feel like these questions are so... You said the Patriots, the Ravens, and who else?
The Ravens, Broncos, Patriots.
I have no clue. Patriots, final answer. Why would it be the Ravens?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right, let's go over these.
No, let's not.
How many Super Bowls did the Denver Broncos lose before they won their first one in 1997? For Carey, and it's literally written this way, for Carey, Super Bowl happened in 1998. It was the 1997 season.
Oh, thank you.
Carey, you went with 4. Trevor, you went with 4. Correct answer is
4.
Nice job, guys. Neither of you needed the options. We have a 2-2 tie. Which team holds the record for most points in a single season in team history, scoring 606 points in the 2013 season? Trevor, you went with the Patriots. Carey, you went with the Patriots. Correct answer is...
That would have been Peyton Manning's Broncos.
Peyton Manning's Broncos. First year with the Broncos.
I drew a complete blank on that.
They put up like 40 a game.
Not Osweiler.
I couldn't even.
No.
I drew a complete blank. Yep.
All right, so we still have a 2-2 tie. The last time the Broncos made the playoffs, who was their head coach? Trevor, you went with Mike Shanahan.
Hey.
Carey, you went with John Fox. Correct answer is...
None other than Gary Kubiak.
Super Bowl champion, Gary Kubiak.
I completely wiped those years out of my brain.
I'm with you. Kubiak, Fox, Vance Joseph.
There was a lot of
Vic
them there.
Fangio.
I forgot that they had. My brain didn't even remember Peyton was there.
Yep.
That's bad.
Gary Kubiak won it with the Broncos and Peyton Manning's last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have a 2-2 tie. Comes down to this, potentially. This season, the Lions put up the 4th most points in a single season in NFL history. It's the most points a team has put up in a single season since which team scored 565 points in the 2018 season. Trevor, without the options, you said the Bucs. Unfortunately, they were not an option. Carey, you said you're going to go with the Chiefs just because I always say go with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're the exception of the rule.
The Saints were the answer, but I felt I should go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because I listen to you.
If it's the Saints,
Pen ready for a
we have a walk-off. If it's the Patriots, we have a walk-off. If Carey's right with some weird logic, and it's the Chiefs, well, Carey wins today 3-2. Trevor.
You have chosen poorly.
It was the Chiefs. It's my Chiefs.
Yes.
That's the correct answer. Trevor, you got you 3-2 today. Sorry, man.
I should have known that. You guys are the best.
No, thanks, man. We appreciate you listening.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks for playing.
See you, Jack.
Right?
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jack Wright. Hey, Carey, nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, buddy.
That was because of you.
Well, good.
I was T-shirts. What would Anthony Stalter do?
Yeah, or not do.
Yeah.
And do the opposite. Yep. All right, so Carey wins the Gauntlet today 3-2, which means no penalty box
Yeah,
for
that's
CD.
the best part. You can't hear anything over there.
That's terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you done it yet?
No.
Yes.
Have you?
Have you?
Once I did it.
It was
You did it
awful.
once?
And I had
terrible.
to like hold the thing and toggle
it's
it.
terrible.
Yeah,
It's awful.
It's not great.
It's
But you know
a
what,
true
guys?
penalty.
That's what we get.
That's right.
Shouldn't be good.
There's got to be some sort of punishment if we lose the Gauntlet.
Yeah. That is a punishment.
All right, boys. The head coach, Mick Cronin, for UCLA, went on a bit of a rant last night after they lost to Michigan. And I wondered, after I was listening to what Mick Cronin was saying, not only what Jamie thought, but specifically Carey, because Carey's talked about this with kind of the modern-day athlete. You'll hear what Mick Cronin had to say about his own players, and we'll get Carey's viewpoint on that next on 101 ESPN.
Tune in this Friday from 11 to 2 as BK and Ferrario broadcast live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. E&B Granite, Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring.
DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 101WXOS. That's code 101WXOS. For new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits.
Jamie Rivers back with you here with another jersey giveaway. This one is awesome. Jordan Cairo signed jersey, the home blue, and it's a ladies cut. Nice, sleek, sharp. One you're going to love for your collection, and all you have to do is go to 101ESPN.com or visit 101ESPN, the mobile app. Register now to win that one-of-a-kind signed Jordan Cairo female jersey.
Strap yourself yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Mick Cronin is the head basketball coach for UCLA, and he and the Bruins hosted the Michigan Wolverines last night, and it didn't go well, guys. At least for UCLA, it went just fine for Michigan. But Mick Cronin has been with Cincinnati. He was with Murray State. Back in the day, even an assistant with Louisville. He's won his fair share of games. Won an NIT. What's that? What does he know?
It's a joke.
Here's Mick Cronin talking about his own players following last night's game.
We're soft. So don't tell me you want to win. Like, just don't tell me you want to win. So don't tell me you want to win. It's crazy, and it's every day. I'm tired of it. It's every day. I have the most energy of anybody at practice every day. I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. I almost got 500 wins. I'm only 53. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. But yet I come in and I have more passion and energy and pride than everybody, and that's the problem. So what the truth of it has been, it's really hard to coach people that are delusional. The hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys that think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids. They're completely delusional about who they are.
I love it.
The ultimate crab sandwich. The ultimate crab sandwich.
They're nice kids.
They're nice kids.
Completely delusional.
Halfway through that, I thought I was listening to like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Nope.
The way he worded things, it's incredible.
There was no filter.
I want you to email that to me, please. I want that on file.
Done.
Just because they're soft. My assistant coaches got the players.
I got 500 wins. I'm 53.
With everybody in that locker room.
I can stop right now. I don't have to do. Basically, what he's telling them is, I don't have to do this.
Oh my!
I do this because I love it, and you all are taking away the joy of what I wake up every single day and come to work to do. I have. You mentioned it earlier. I have coached younger players. This is. When you get the audio from Bradford, send it to Bill Belichick is what you do. Send it directly to him because this is what he's
Bill
going
doesn't
to
answer my calls.
He's going to have. You're the number one Patriot fan. He's got to answer.
One time.
Yeah.
I had a few too many bourbons. Thought I could help him, Coach.
Throwing to Clemson.
Yeah. I'm listening to that, and what he's dealing with, I'm sure, is players. When he says they're delusional, there's this thought process. And I don't know how it comes about for younger players or younger people. I can get all of those things that I want in life, and I don't have to work hard for it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sound like the old man, get off my lawn. But one thing we knew and we know is the only way for success is to work extremely hard. Outwork the person that is next to you. Outwork the people that you don't see. Like, I convince myself every single day there's somebody in Michigan working hard than me, somebody in Georgia, someone in New Orleans, someone in Los Angeles. I don't know who they are, but I got to outwork them. That was my mindset. And now younger players, younger people, there's a mindset that I don't have. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm great. Dude, you stink. You're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not going to survive or make it at the next level because you're not willing to put in the work. And that's a coach that is, he's over it. He's seen it in practice. He's probably brought it up 100 times. And he's like, you know what? I can't do nothing else. Yeah, you guys don't care enough, so why should I?
Yeah, so here's where I go with it is you can be extremely talented, but still be playing the sport as a recreation. And what I mean by that is you got college kids that they have, to your point, Carey, they have no idea what it really takes to get to the next level and to be successful at the next level. You talk about kids at Michigan. I used to think about kids in Sweden and Russia and Czech Republic. Like, how hard are they working today? Are they already awake working out and things like that? So you'd push yourself. My brother and I would push each other to where you're like puking.
You're right.
And you're like, there's no way that player X was puking today.
Right.
Because I wanted to be the best. And when I got to the NHL, I wanted to stay in the NHL. But some of these college kids, it's just kind of cool to be playing college sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not really there. They're making their NIL money, and they're like, whatever. It's like, I feel like that, in a way, is actually hurting some of it because the players feel like they're not that starving dog anymore, like he said, to where mom and dad need a home, you need a home. You're playing for your livelihood to get to the NFL, or to get to the NBA or something like that. Like, some of that has disappeared with the NIL because these guys are making some pretty good money, and some of the mentality of these kids is just like, hey man, this is fun, this is cool.
Right?
It's cool to play college basketball.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go pro. No, you're not.
You're not. And if not, I'll just do something else. Like, that's the mind. Like, I'll just be what's it called? An influencer. I'll just be an influencer.
I had a kid.
Like, all these kids think they're going to be an influencer.
Yeah.
But
who are you influencing? You can't influence yourself.
The crazy part about that is, do you know how much work that is? You know how much work that is to sit there online on a phone all day long, cut up videos. Like, you're working. And maybe they don't feel like it's work, which is fine, but it is a lot of
You're right,
work
Carey. All those
to be
successful
a content
influencers,
creator. They are there for hours upon hours upon hours. And people have, again, they have this notion that, and I think it is because of everybody is successful, right? When you turn on social media, I would ask my kids, I would ask them all the time, you're watching a person's highlights. You're watching the best parts of their life all day long. And in your brain, you feel like, I'm not successful. Because that person does not show the lowlights. They don't show them struggling or just not having anything or not having food to eat. They're just showing, I made it. And every single day, this is my life. But they don't show the beginning parts. And so you're trained to think everybody is successful. And they just showed up that way. And that's not how it happens. Like, you have to put in the work. And if you don't, you're never going to be successful. You're going to struggle in life. And that to me is one of the scariest things about, young athletes now, because majority of them don't want to work hard. And then you have people just continuously patting them on the back.
Working hard.
There you go.
Right.
They don't realize what hard work really is. And that's now we're obviously we're choosing a small portion because some of the kids work their asses off.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of them do. And those are the ones that, quite honestly, they're the ones that get rewarded the most, especially if they're talented.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be Rudy Rudiger and not have an ounce of talent in your pinky, but work hard, and you're still not going to play in the NFL.
No. You did get that one play.
You did. Although there's varying opinions of how that play went down.
I told them that the other day. They didn't really believe me that Rudy may not have happened in the way might not have been jerseys laid out for.
Yeah. From what I understand, he got in for one play, but the sack may not be factual.
And they may not have laid out jerseys saying we're not doing anything. In
fact, Rudy may have stolen all the jerseys.
Coach, look what they did for me.
I saw it in the documentary.
I know the documentary is excellent.
I don't know if it was true. You gotta be careful.
But James Rudiger himself might tell you a different story. Yeah.
He's a motivational speaker, though.
Good story, though.
Yeah, well, he uses the documentary for sure to his advantage.
As he should.
Yeah. He's 5'0" nothing. 100 and nothing.
Skull Man from the text line said, can you guys play that one more time?
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please do. If you weren't listening earlier, this is
Mick Cronin.
Mick Cronin, the UCLA
basketball coach
on how impressed he is with his team.
We're soft. So don't tell me you want to win. Like, just don't tell me you want to win. So don't tell me you want to win.
It's Kenny Powers.
It's crazy, and it's every day. I'm tired of it. It's every day. I have the most energy of anybody at practice every day. I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. I almost got 500 wins. I'm only 53. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. But yet I come in and I have more passion and energy and pride than everybody in. That's the problem. So what the truth of it is, Ben, it's really hard to coach people that are delusional. The hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys that think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids. They're completely delusional about who they are.
That's my favorite part.
He's my favorite coach.
You know what's crazy? This is the most play that UCLA has received in 5 years.
This is a program led once by John Wooden. I mean, this is... And now we're here, but he's not wrong.
I felt like that at a practice one time, and I literally
I thought of you when I
told
watched
all my coaches. We were at practice, and I'm watching this, and I said, let's go.
I talked to my coaches. While they were practicing, we just walked off the field. What do I need to be here for? You figure it out. And they were like, the players were like, where are the coaches going? Yeah, you don't need us. The hell with it. You all don't care. And we left. And then they started just kind of trick coach. What? Nah, I got better things to do, man. I got better things to do than to be out here with people that do not care. Like, if you have people that are willing to take their time, like when you're a coach, especially at the collegiate level, you know you don't get to see your family. Your kids grow up without you. You're traveling on the road recruiting. You're around those players. And then to get that effort, you're like, the hell with this. I might as well just and your assistants too. Yeah, he's over it. He's done.
Jeez. That's awesome. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got part one of the Sports Six Pack coming up, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service tax line. Again, Sports Six Pack next.
Completely delusional about who they are.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com.
Hey, it's Super Bowl champ Carey Davis, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals got you covered. They are tailor-made for your business and can meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can truly help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, it breaks down over and over and over again. You get frustrated. You got to repair it. At some point, the time will come to end your suffering. You'll have to get it out of the way. Scrap Mart will come and pick it up. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, you do it yourself. Or they got 3 convenient locations. You can go to Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and they have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metal. So visit them today at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account for you and get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
Sponsored by Compassion International.
You can now watch 101 ESPN live on our Air Alliance Team Studio Cams. Catch every show live on our YouTube channel or at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Studio Cams.
Presented by the Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues aim to turn the page tomorrow. I'm Bradford Bruns, and this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. On the heels of last night's 6-4 loss versus Minnesota, St. Louis hits Enterprise Center tomorrow. Sixth place Anaheim arrives for a 7 p.m. puck drop right here 2 hours from now. Colorado tackles Chicago Central-wise. Evening hardcourt action. Meanwhile, SLU will host 14-1 St. Bonaventure. Number 13 Illinois battles Penn State. The SportsCenter update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
You're in the fast lane on 101 ESPN. Driven by Scrap Mark Metals Recycling.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
See you later, guys. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Got our Sports Six-Pack right now with our guy Bradford Bruns, who's filling in for an under-the-weather Andrew Marsh. So hopefully Marshy's feeling a lot better today. What do we got there, Bradford?
Question number 1.
Okay, gentlemen, reflecting on the last segment, which was just too much fun, from the 618 in reference to those privileged individuals, perhaps, is Johnny Manziel the ultimate example of the college student athlete, cool kid, best ever?
Oh, I think he's got to be. Once you see that 30 for 30 or whatever it's called, Untold, Johnny Manziel, him and his buddy, his like agent-ish buddy, flying all over the world and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars at private jets.
They didn't even talk to the guy anymore.
No.
We're good. We're done here.
Did your job?
I don't know if he's the ultimate cool kid, because I think there's probably some guys that, like Shadur Sanders, I think he probably has a pretty cool life playing college football too. But the NIL money, kind of helps that too. But
yeah, I would say so.
I say Johnny Manziel, certainly he's on the poster.
Trying to think of who would be like the ultimate. I mean, he's definitely up there.
Like a rock star too.
You probably won't find many people that had a more successful college tenure than Johnny Manziel.
In terms of that,
yeah, like not just on the field. I mean, he also won a Heisman,
right?
So it's not like he was a slouch on the football field, but off the field, he had a pretty good time.
The most decorated college football player in your time? Because mine's easy.
In my time, well, so like Brian Bosworth was a huge deal. Now, not decorated, per se.
I'm talking about
super popular.
Popular, winning, everything. Like mine is.
Who would yours be?
Tim Tebow. I think it's Tebow. I don't even think it's even close. Like Vince Young was remarkable.
What about Michael Vick?
No.
I had the.
He was something. Don't get me wrong.
Rocket Ishmael was pretty
good one.
From Notre Dame. Yeah. The other one that came to mind was Charles Woodson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think he was like Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow probably is. It almost has to be a quarterback.
Popularity plus winning.
Yeah.
Chase Daniel.
Well, yeah.
Vinny Testaverde was pretty.
Oh,
yeah.
Reggie Bush.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Reggie Bush was probably.
Boy, that was a golden era for college football, wasn't it?
VY too.
The 2000 Vince Young.
Bo Jackson was playing college when I was, in my wheelhouse.
Sure.
That was.
Desmond Howard was fun to watch too.
I think Reggie Bush was probably the most electric football player, collegiate football player. I don't want to say ever, because that's a lot.
That's a bold statement.
He was, man, that young man was different.
He was fun to watch.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush or Matt Leinart both had it pretty well. I would say
that team was stacked.
They were.
Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush,
Lindell
White.
Yep. They got a lot of guys.
Was it
Mike Williams, number 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
He was amazing.
He was.
Didn't work out for him, huh?
No, it did not.
He went to the Lions. Lions had a run there where they just kept drafting receivers.
They drafted Charles Rogers
out of Michigan State.
They drafted Mike Williams.
Did they draft Roy Williams? Was
Roy
it Roy Williams?
Yep.
And then they got Megatron at some point. Right around that time.
How about that, man?
Yeah, they were trying. They finally
Charles
got
Rogers.
one.
I think they took second overall.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
USC also had former St. Louis Rams great Dominic Byrd.
Oh yeah,
Dominic Byrd.
Yes.
Do you remember Dwayne Jarrett? He was a USC Trojan. Not on those teams, I don't think.
Lindell found a bag of money in his apartment.
Yeah.
You heard that story?
Yeah.
He walked into his apartment with a $20,000 bag. $20,000 a bag.
Just dropped from the ceiling?
Just a bag, a brown paper bag with $20,000 in it. Like,
I had that happen.
Never had that happen. Love for that.
Where were you?
Russia.
That was your paycheck.
Yeah, it was a first paycheck was in a plastic bag. It was like a skincare product. I looked in, it was full of money. I was like, okay. That's the bag they tried to steal back from me. They did. Got the last laugh, though. They never found it.
Oh, man.
They tried to rob me every month.
It's unbelievable.
It's wild. It's like a game. It's like a game. So I'll tell you the story. I think I can say this on the air. I will try it anyways. So the last time I was getting, like, one of my last paychecks, because I scooted out of there before the last one for various reasons, but they came in every month and tried to rob me, and they would just leave my apartment a wreck, you know? So there was an adult novelty store in Russia, and I thought to myself, I'm going to have some fun with these guys. I went and spent, I don't know, $400 or $500 on everything I could find that was like off the wall. Some kind of a novelty that, like, it's not your standard.
Right.
I forget my drift a little bit.
What is he into?
I bought all of the weirdest magazines you could possibly find. And I spread them out all over the room and laid all the toys and all everywhere. Oddly enough, thank you for playing that, by the way. Oddly enough, that time, not a thing was touched in my apartment.
That's awesome.
Like, this guy's really weird.
Let's just back out.
You know, I laughed all by myself so hard. So I was like, what do I do with all this stuff now?
Where did you hide the money? Like, you had to be, did you have it on you constantly?
No, so the guy who played there the year before, David Ling, he found out I signed there and he called me. I played junior hockey against him in the minors and whatnot. And they had him in that same little apartment at the rink. An apartment. It was like it was the hot water heater was in the damn apartment with me. Like, so, but they had a fiberglass shower that had the whole, like, the roof, the walls, like, just step in, you know? He had pulled the fiberglass down from the ceiling and, like, burrowed a hole up there. And so he was hiding his money up above the shower. He told me, he's like, when you go in there, he's like, you're going to get paid. They're never going to tell you when practice is, first of all. I'm like, why? He goes, because they don't want you to leave. They don't want their import players to leave the compound. Like, if you leave the compound, they think you're out doing something you shouldn't, or that you're not in shape, or like something. So they don't tell you when training is. They just come and knock on your door at whatever time that practice is. Till you figure out, like, how to speak a little bit of Russian, then you'll hear the other players talk about it. And so he says the first day you're there, they're going to bring you, because everybody gets their first paycheck right away. It's like, basically, thanks for coming. Here's your money. It's like, we're not trying to screw you over. And he says he's going to knock at the door, hand you the money, and say, training. Like hurry up, you know? He says, you're going to go back, you're going to put the bag right in the apartment, and you're going to go to the practice or whatever, do your training. While you're at training, they're going to take the money back from you. So he says, you got to hide it. And he says, I found the only place I could make a hiding spot was above the fiberglass shower. So I got the bag of money. And I said, started walking down the hall with him. I go, I forgot my shoes, you know, for training. So I run back with the bag of money. He thinks I'm just putting it in the apartment. Well, I ran to the bathroom, pulled down the fiberglass. Sure enough, there was the hole in the ceiling, put it up there, and it goes back up.
That's crazy.
And then when I came back after practice, all my stuff was everywhere. They couldn't find it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's insane. So you want to be an NHL player, do you?
Yeah. That was the Russian Super League.
Wow.
No rules, just right. It was like the Outback.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. All right, we'll continue our Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
The Blues play on ESPN.
Shoots, he scores!
Tomorrow night, Blues and Ducks. Pre-game at 6, puck drop at 7.
The wait is over!
The quest for the Stanley Cup happens here on your home of the Blues, 101 ESPN.
I love playing Underdog Fantasy, and you will too. That's because you can cash in on your hunches. Just build your team this weekend and play in the NFL playoffs, or maybe you want to dabble in Underdog's NHL or NBA players. When it comes to Underdog, their Champions game, you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on players' stats. So for this weekend, for example, if you're looking at certain players, like I like Jaden Daniels to go over his rushing yards. I like Baker Mayfield to go over his passing yards. You can build your player profile, and then you can win a bunch of money while doing so. And Underdog's the only Champions platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. So let's say you're rolling, and you got, I don't know, 1 or 2 legs left, but you want to cash out. You can. Just have the win now button to cash out whenever you want. And every dog deserves a second chance at Underdog. They've got their Underdog rescues. You can get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury causes your entry to lose. I don't know anybody else that does that. Use my promo code Anthony when you download the app. Underdog is the best place to play champions. Sign up with the promo code Anthony and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, that promo code is Anthony. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. And every month during the season, you can register to win tickets to an upcoming Blues game. Enter to score free Blues tickets now at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 app. Brought to you by Ted Cruz, serving original frozen custard since 1929. This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, let's continue our Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Bradford Bruns in for Andrew Marsh.
Question number 2.
Guys, I'm not sure if we'll scale the heights reached by the previous segment, but let's try. This is straightforward enough for you. Who is your NFL Coach of the Year?
Oh, that's an easy one for me.
Who?
Dan Campbell.
That's not a bad choice. I didn't know where you were going, but I don't disagree.
Should we go with, who's done the most with less? Because that's typically what
then if that's the case, then you got to look at Harbaugh or Peyton. Right. Sean Payton or Harbaugh.
Right. Nah, neither of those.
Okay.
Why not? We never. I hate the fact that because teams have because they're good teams. How many times has Andy Reid won Coach of the Year?
That's a great
Doesn't
point.
feel like he's won it nearly enough. But he went 15.
He's got the best player in the game, Carey.
15-2.
Job's easy for him.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you feel as though that the Chiefs didn't deserve any of their wins.
I don't feel like they deserve 5 of them, but that doesn't
He's
mean.
won Coach of the Year once.
That's what I'm saying. Like
2002.
That's because you've had that much success.
Yeah.
He's gone to numerous championship games, obviously won 3 Super Bowls at this point. And only won Coach of the Year one time because people assume, well, you had a good team, you're supposed to win. It's kind of hard. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to be talked about in this conversation.
No.
They will talk about Dan Campbell because...
the injuries, too. Like the number of injuries to the Lions, and they're still dominating.
The Chiefs have had injuries as well. They lost their receiver. Isaiah Pacheco was 2 of their receivers. Pacheco was out for a significant amount of time.
One of the guys I overlooked here that I think, quite honestly, might deserve it more than Dan Campbell is Quinn.
Oh, Dan Quinn.
With the Commanders.
Yeah, he's done a great job. I was going to give it to Kevin O'Connell.
He's done a great job, too.
I mean, so Sam Darnold was, obviously, he's a bust.
The Commanders
never going to do anything with him.
Crap.
Right.
They weren't expected to do anything.
Oh, they're terrible.
And they're 12-5.
Absolutely. I think Dan Quinn is deserving of it, but I would give it to Kevin O'Connell. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings weren't expected to do much. Sam Darnold, okay. They won 14 games. The only teams they have lost to are the Lions and the Rams. Mm-hmm. That's it. They've got 3 losses, 2 to the Lions, and then hopefully for Marshy's sake, not 2 to the Rams. But that's it.
Can Sam Darnold get comeback player of the year? Because the way he's come back has been I know you ain't dealt with an injury.
Absolutely.
You got to be careful with that because Joe Flacco had a pretty good season, too.
2 years ago? Yeah, that was...
He won his last game.
He shouldn't have been... That should have went to DeMar Hamlin, and everyone knows it. Man died on the field, Jamie. Came back and played.
You of all people.
You
of all people should appreciate somebody dying and coming back.
Right? What the hell are we doing here?
Come on now.
I mean, Joe Flacco had a hell of a comeback.
Did he die and come back?
We don't know. He looks pretty old.
Our resident Broncos fan, DroidFX from the Snake Pit, says Sean Payton, $89 million in dead cap money, 10-win season and made the playoffs. He would certainly be deserving of it.
They're the 7th seed, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 or 5 coaches where I wouldn't be upset if they won it because they've done a heck of a job.
All right, but let's all take one. I got Kevin O'Connell. You going Dan Campbell?
I'm going to go Dan Campbell.
I might go with Kevin O'Connell with you.
O'Connell for me, too. Make it 3.
You guys are all weird.
All you had to say was Dan Campbell beat it twice. But no, you went with your weird.
Question number 3.
Weird. Better at that time.
Guys, let's switch gears just a little bit. Given the success of the Winter Classic, Jamie, do you see a point at which the NFL, or the NHL for that matter, we're talking about all kinds of venues, the NHL expands the Winter Classic field or the number of matchups to, say, 2, 3 contests per season?
Well, they kind of do that now. They've got the stadium series as well. So I think they get 3 or 4 different outdoor games a year. I don't think you do more than that. Now, I have heard something. I don't know if I told you guys this or not. The owner for the Utah Hockey Club is in the primary stages of drawings for their arena. Like, it's well down the road. They've got to renovate what they're in currently, but his plan ultimately is to possibly have a retractable roof for NHL hockey games.
Sweet.
In Utah.
That's cool.
Which would be pretty damn cool.
It'd be snowing and stuff.
Well, just whatever. Like if it's a beautiful night, like tonight here in St. Louis, the snow on the ground. It's got a little chill. You open the top of it. All of a sudden you got it. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I'm in.
So we'll see. But no, I think the NHL does a good job of not oversaturating the games. They did announce, I believe, that Tampa and Florida. The Florida Panthers are going to have the Winter Classic next year down in Florida, which is wild. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to get a Stadium Series game at the football, at the Tampa, whatever's that place.
Raymond James?
Raymond James, yeah.
That's cool.
So
that's a neat spot. Have you been there? Tampa? Have you been to the Raymond James?
No.
I know, Carey, you have. You played there.
I did.
That's a cool spot. They got a ship.
They got a cannon.
Cannons.
They got a cannon.
A cannon in Columbus, too.
Do they?
Boy, was that annoying 6 times the other night. Every time they score, and it's so loud. I'll never forget the first time I played. I'm on the ice, they score, you're already pissed off, then this thing's like, hit the ice, get down.
You know what's Curbs was wrapping up the game. Did they also fire it at the end of the game?
Yeah.
It sounded like, I'm like, oh, Curbs, be careful out there. He's like, and that'll do it for the.
It is shocking how loud it is.
Man, you weren't here when Joey and Marshy had a conversation about Marshy leaving Joey. You were here, weren't you?
I was here.
You were here.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't here. Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Tell him.
Well,
tell him what Marsh did.
Marsh was driving. They were leaving the game, and he saw Joey. And Joey was like, "Oh, hey, Marsh, hey."
Oh, down at Ballpark Village.
Yeah, and he said he heard some sound like gunshots. Mm-hmm. Marshy said, it's time to go," and left Joey out there. Just
well, just left. Joey be fine, he said.
Joey's fine. Might have been Joey.
Unbelievable.
Every man for himself.
Apparently.
Clearly.
Wow. Yeah,
Question number 4.
Ballpark Village can be a little
fun,
testy late at night.
Have fun, but be careful out there.
Guys, this is a difficult one to answer because evidently neither individual will play in 2025. But who's going to have the bigger impact for the Cardinals, Ivan Herrera or Alec Burleson?
I'll also go with Alec Burleson.
Ivan Herrera's playing every day. He's your starting catcher.
Is he?
He is.
He's batting 300.
He's playing every day.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he can't play every day, but
Not with
Why
that
not?
defense.
no.
You guys, so you know what frustrates me about you guys? We talk all season.
Only one thing?
Multiple things. One of the things that frustrate me about you guys, the Cardinals have told you that they are going to be developing their damn players. Where do you think all this money is going, huh?
We don't know.
You don't know, but
have no idea.
you've been told that it's for development, and you got to believe them. No? Yeah?
Carey, I'm putting a bunch of money into development.
Yeah, we all are.
What are you developing?
Well, we're developing the players. We're going to make sure that they're got the right information. We're going to make sure that they're on time for their workouts and all. I'm putting $100,000 of my own money into development.
There you go.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Good luck finding out if I do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the fast lane, we're developing people.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Ivan Herrera is going to be ready to roll. He's going to be throwing out runners left and right.
That guy can hit,
Hopefully.
that's for sure.
Oh, he can hit. He's going
Can't
to
throw to second base.
Correct.
He got to.
Yeah.
He's a good second baseman, maybe.
Maybe.
Or first baseman.
Yeah.
Just probably
Doesn't
not
have to
catching.
throw. No, he can catch. Really, he can catch very well.
You
Just can't throw.
Can't throw the ball.
Question number 5.
We'll make it quick. Yes or no? Is Joe Flacco, at the end of the day, a Hall of Famer?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. If Eli Manning gets in, Joe Flacco has to get in. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I don't agree.
No, you don't. I don't really care. Look at the man. He saved organizations. Saved them.
He did win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did. Single-handedly,
Eli won
too.
Against his brother. Against his head coach's brother.
Eli won 2. We're gonna just.
Eli won 2.
There you go.
Not TOO.
2.
2.
The number 2?
The number 2.
The number 2.
The number of the day.
The number of the day.
Yeah.
2.
Is 2. Okay. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. So earlier we did our we did the AFC matchup for Saturday, the first AFC matchup Saturday. But let's talk about the Ravens-Steelers under-the-radar storylines as we continue our under-the-radar storylines for Wildcard Weekend. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN's Blues Fan of the Week.
New year, new fan of the week. Damian Harkins of Vandalia, Illinois, our 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week.
Submit your pick now to be the next 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week and take home a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues game. Learn more at 101ESPN.com. KXOS, WXOS, HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Two pros and one average show. You're listening to The Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling.
5:02, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis and Blues defenseman, former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So we did the Texans and Chargers under the radar storylines earlier in the show. If we're to transition to the later Saturday game, the one that Carey certainly is going to be excited for until the game starts, what would you say is the under-the-radar storyline?
Who is the real
Ravens?
Arthur Smith? Will he please stand up?
I think we know.
Do we?
I do.
You think you do. But do you really know?
Yeah. I saw it for 3 years. You've seen it for 3 months. You know what I mean?
I'm hoping to see something better. I mean, we can't. That's. We've talked about, obviously, Russell and George Pickens. We talked about Lamar and Derrick Henry. Like, the real question is the coordinator position. What are you going to do offensively to get this team going? Mm-hmm. How are you going to attack Baltimore, their defense? How do you plan on actually finishing drives with touchdowns?
Right.
At the least, a field goal, not a punt. That's what I want to know. Will the real Arthur Smith please stand up?
I think he stood up last Saturday.
What do you mean?
He was there.
They scored 17 points, Anthony.
Against
Come on.
They scored that many?
Yeah. Against one of the worst defenses.
Exactly.
This year.
What are we doing?
Yep. I think you're seeing it.
They can't.
Carey, I told you. That passing game felt like, how is everybody covered? How is every pass contested? That's the Arthur Smith passing game. And I had to listen for months that this guy's a genius.
Who said that?
Everybody.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be a genius if I had Derrick Henry running the ball.
Yeah.
Make life easier.
So I think the under the radar storyline for that game is, does Russell Wilson play well enough to give the Steelers a conversation?
No.
Or is it's just done? It's a foregone conclusion. They're just going to have to move on.
They're going to get absolutely pummeled.
Boat raced.
Yeah, I think so.
Motorboated.
Motorboated.
Too.
Damn.
Son of a gun.
You son of a gun? Huh? Go for speed. What's your under the radar storyline for that game?
For the Steelers-Ravens?
Mm-hmm.
Under the radar is
like another one while you're thinking, Jamie, is the Ravens. Are you actually going to use Derrick Henry?
Yeah, remember that? They were trying to reinvent the wheel at the start of the season.
You constantly, the playoffs have always been about, for the Ravens, Lamar save us. Like, it's the playoffs now. Lamar, please God, go out there and save us. You don't need to do that. Zay Flowers is projected to be out this weekend.
Exactly.
So you don't have your top receiving threat. You have Mark Andrews and you have Bateman and you've got Isaiah Likely. You've got pieces. But really, Derrick Henry should be the focal point of that offense on Saturday. But will Todd Monken actually make him the focal point? That, I think, is under the radar.
I think it's under the radar. I also think what's under the radar, we talk about the Steelers' lack of offense and whatever, but the Ravens' secondary stinks. So if Russell Wilson can actually get the ball down the field, it might make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe you guys see it differently, but I don't think the Ravens secondary is very good.
They've gotten better.
It's better than what it was initially. Yeah.
Ask me about it. Huh, Anthony?
Okay. Carey's blaming me for his fantasy woes.
Yeah. I lost. What?
Yeah, he's blaming
the
me.
Final Four.
Why is it your fault?
Tell him why it's your fault, Anthony.
No, his fantasy's up to him.
Exactly. I don't want to be. I don't want to be a part of his fantasy.
Involved in that.
I invited him in.
Yeah.
I invited him into the thing. It's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? He invited me into his fantasy.
And ask him what he
Be
did.
careful when you invite the devil into your house.
And then he blamed me. And then he blamed me for his fantasy going wrong.
Ask him what he did. Huh?
That's terrible.
Yeah. The Ravens have been playing really well lately on defense. Let me start by saying that. Go ahead, Anthony.
He was going to drop a couple of key wide receivers. I go, no, why would you do that? Tell me what you got. What else is on your roster? And he said the Ravens defense. He had other defenses. I'm like, come on, man. First of all, Justin Tucker was missing every kick. I'm like, you could start there.
I was able to pick him back up.
Of course you did.
And he hasn't missed since.
He was going to cut like Shakir from the Bills, who went off.
I didn't need him.
I didn't make the wrong decision, okay?
Kind of did.
He's blaming me.
I lost by 20 points.
Well, you got to blame somebody.
And the Ravens scored 27 points. I had 6 points on defense that day. Not saying it's his fault.
If you're relying on your defense to win your fantasy leagues,
doesn't matter how you win, Anthony. You just got to win.
No,
the Ravens would have got me that dub.
Jamie, I like your secondary take. I like your secondary take. Much like Flowers and the knee situation, obviously not expected to play in this one. Carey, when you don't have a healthy or you have a compromised, let's say, Kyle Hamilton, who is the one undisputed linchpin there on the back end in the secondary for Baltimore, how much does that truly compromise the makeup of that unit? And in this matchup, how does it play?
I think they have gotten much better. Marlon Humphrey is playing better. I know Kyle Hamilton, I think he hurt his shoulder or his wrist in that last game. I think he'll be fine to play. I believe he came back into the game. So I think they're clicking on all cylinders and figuring some things out defensively. They are playing really well. I can't remember the stats, but I know since week 12, that team has been one of the best defenses in the league. So I don't expect anything to change. We talked about Arthur Smith and their inability to figure out how to get anything going offensively. This is the reason why I haven't sung the song in so long, because the Steelers offensively don't know what the hell they're doing. They're trying to target George Pickens. He had 5 targets, 1 catch for 0 yards in the last game. He's not running routes properly. He's dropping passes. They have to figure out a way to get it going, but it's going to be difficult against this Ravens defense because they have been playing well.
Ever since they moved Marlon Humphrey into the slot,
yes.
and then Kyle Hamilton just let him play safety.
Yep.
That secondary's been good. The at home, that secondary's been really good too. I think they'll be fine. I'm sorry, Carey.
All right, it's okay.
Also, can we say that Mark Andrews is fully back to being the Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Looms even larger in importance, especially with Flowers being out.
He reminds me that whole situation reminds me of like when Jay Bomeister was banged up and then eventually got healthy again. And we were like, Jay Bomeister, what's like this? He's done. And then
we weren't like that.
No, but
people were.
Fans were, and then he got healthy, and it's like, oh yeah, no, he's great again.
But not you people.
No, not you people.
What do you mean by you people?
What the hell, Bradford?
I'm sorry.
Mark Andrews, now that he's healthy, looks like Mark Andrews again. I think they'll be fine. Sorry, Carey.
It's okay. It's only.
Do you want to sing the song one more time?
$1,500. That's what I missed out on.
Oh, you're back to that again?
I thought that's what you're apologizing about.
No, I wasn't apologizing for that. That's on you.
Anthony won't apologize.
I'm sorry.
There it is.
Let me hear it.
That you feel that way. Not quite the apology.
No.
Or a apology for that matter. Apology, yeah. All right, it's Fast on 101 ESPN. It is freezing in here.
It's cold in here. I just turned the heat up.
If Jamie says it's cold, damn it, it's cold.
First of all, don't act like, wow, what do you mean? You're the one that turns it down.
It is very
When it feels like a meat locker in here, it's you.
But in fairness to me and anybody else, it goes from like sauna to meat locker.
You're right.
There's no in between.
You're right about that. All right. The college football playoff continues tomorrow. And we're talking about this. So you have Texas left, Jamie?
Yes.
I have Penn State. You have Notre Dame.
But I don't know if I had Ohio
and nobody
State.
can remember who had Ohio State.
I don't remember. I'm going to have to go back and listen.
Somewhere.
I know I had Penn State and I had Arizona State because Jamie, it wound up not mattering.
Yeah.
But Jamie snaked Georgia from me.
I had Tennessee, Texas, and Georgia.
Tennessee, Texas, and Georgia.
I think I had Ohio State.
Somebody,
I'm just giving
I think you had
myself
Boise State.
I had Arizona State. Who the hell did I have? I had Arizona State, Penn State, and somebody.
Where's Marshy when we need him?
He doesn't know either.
He didn't know either. We asked him.
Oh, damn
He's
it,
like,
Marshy.
it's written down somewhere. Okay. Anyways.
Sure it is.
College football quick hitters we'll get to, including a slightly embarrassing moment maybe for James Franklin of Penn State. But did he have a point when he said what you're about to hear? That's next on 101 ESPN.
We want to hear from you. Use the Scott Lee Mic Drop feature on the 101 mobile app. Give us your opinion on anything St. Louis sports with a mic drop.
Brought to you by the Scott Lee Heating Company.
Anthony, as you know, buying a home is stressful at times, and it's fun to find the perfect home, but then there's a pre-approval letter. Then there's making sure that your lender knows all these things, and you don't know what's going on. I just purchased a home at, no idea really what the interest rates were. All I did is call our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation, and Stewie politely just held my hand all the way through the process. His company does a phenomenal job. You get emails after everything's happened. I was up to date on everything. It made the process so easy, and it's that old school customer service. I felt the entire time like I was, with somebody who I can trust, and Stewie did an amazing job.
Back before you and I got to know Stewie, I heard his spots, and as they talk about the bagel loan and no closing costs, no lender fees, I'm like, it's probably something that everybody does. So I called certain lenders looking to refi, like, hey, talk to me about your no lender fees, your no closing costs. One guy actually laughed at me. He said, nobody does that. I go, okay, we're done here. Boom. Only used to it now. He's phenomenal. As Jamie just said, whether you're buying a house or the refi, whether you want to consolidate debt, our guy needs to be your guy, which is Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. That phone number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that's 314-324-4440.
Day, night, doesn't matter. Call him, text him. He's ready to take your call, and he's ready. Even if you have a unique situation, call him, test him. He loves that. He's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. If you missed that phone number, you can always
Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
We've got your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Monster Jam. Returning for 2 huge shows next Saturday, January 18th and Sunday, January 19th at the Dome at America Center. Get ready to cheer, scream, and be amazed as massive Monster Jam trucks and world champion drivers take over St. Louis for a weekend packed with high-flying action and jaw-dropping stunts. Get all the info and enter to win that free 4-pack of tickets now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
1, 2, 3, 4.
obviously you talk about just the differences between our two programs and conferences. I think it should be consistent across college football. I think, again, this is no knock at Coach or Notre Dame, but I think everybody should be in a conference. I think everybody should play a conference championship game, or no one should play a conference championship game. I think everybody should play the same number of conference games. I was a head coach in the SEC. I've been a head coach in the Big Ten. I was in the SEC when the whole conversation was whether to go to 8 or 9 conference games. We voted, all the coaches voted against going to 9 games. The commissioner agreed and kept it at 8. I think it was one of the better decisions as SEC made. The Big Ten went to 9 games. And, you know, I was not a math major at East Stroudsburg, but just the numbers are going to make things more challenging if you're playing one more conference game. So I just think things need to be consistent across college football.
So is James Franklin of Penn State. Now he's saying all that. Hey, you got to play in a conference championship game. And of course, Marcus Freeman sitting right there from Notre Dame, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Excuse me.
Yep, Fighting Illini, Illinois.
Fire up Irish.
Okay.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish do not play in a conference when it comes to football.
No, they don't.
So, yeah. He's not wrong, though. I mean, if you're looking at...
It's completely unfair.
Yeah. Hey, Penn State, you're going to play a couple extra games.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Well, look at some of the teams that made the conference championship and lost and then didn't get in the playoff because of that.
Sure.
Like,
you could go either way. You could go that route.
If you didn't have the loss, maybe you make the college playoff.
Jamie, you could go that route, or you could also look at the teams, you know, that had to play that conference. Penn State lost, got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they're playing the first round. Then they're playing the second round. No bye week, no nothing. Here we go. Now you got to face Notre Dame, who did not play an extra game. I saw Army. Army played like 14 or 15 games this year. Army.
Yeah.
The military academies, they have the restrictions when it comes to height and weight and all that. Army is playing 15 games.
Wait, they have a restriction to what?
They have height weight restrictions.
For what?
For their players.
Why?
Because it's the military.
What? You can't be a big guy in the military?
Not based on a certain. I don't know what the actual.
You're telling me if Shaquille O'Neal, at his size, wanted to join the Marines or the Army, they'd say no thanks. We don't want your extreme athleticism and the fact that you're a monster. We don't want that.
That's correct. You take the general and you get out of here.
Why?
BMI.
I don't know.
Yeah, body mass index. Because they're easier to pick off?
I have no idea. All I know is that...
I want you to explain it to me, Anthony.
Well, listen, I'm not in the Army.
Wasn't your dad in the military?
He was on Army, yeah.
Yeah, well, get him on the phone.
Okay. Bradford Effort, my dad. On it. Effort Daryl Stalter.
I normally agree with every team needed to be in a conference. This was not a good year in terms of who Notre Dame played, but they play Power 5 teams. Like, they're not ducking Power 4. They're not ducking anybody. They played Texas A&M. They were number 20 in the country. They played Louisville. They were 15. Purdue had a down year. Georgia Tech was actually a good team. They almost beat Georgia. Florida State should have been a good team. They were good last year. USC is usually a good team. Like, they play a nationally ranked schedule. They're not playing like the second bye week for the SEC teams where they're playing Eastern Middle Tennessee, right? They're playing conference. They're playing teams in conferences, and they usually play a tough schedule. So I don't really have an issue with Notre Dame because they don't seem to duck anybody. They're not, and I don't think that they need. I think that you could put their schedule up against some of the other conferences and say that's a better schedule than some of the teams that are in conferences playing against those teams in their conference. So I don't have an issue with Notre Dame not being.
I don't have an issue with Notre Dame, but I do have an issue with the fact that some teams play 1 million games, some teams play 4 games.
My issue's
there's no consistency.
I'm not isolating Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Like, if we isolate them, you're 100% right. You've got all the information in front of you, and they played a solid schedule and all that stuff. But I do agree that all the teams should play the same number of games.
That I agree with that 100%.
Otherwise, it's like it is unbalanced. I don't want to say unfair, but it's just unbalanced.
And where does it end as well? Because you can also look at the home versus road splits. For instance, next season, yes, I know it's close to home, but Missouri, for example, has 8 home dates. 8 home dates. How is that even if you're talking about having some semblance there of competitive balance, too? I know this is a different issue somewhat, but it would make sense, to kind of even that out somewhat across the board. That's just ridiculous to me. When I heard that a couple months ago, I thought, you can't be serious.
Well, we're all blaming the committee, right? Like the committee becomes the entity where we're like, you guys don't know what you're doing. Try to be a committee member, and you're going through all this stuff, and you're like trying to compare conferences that aren't equal, trying to compare, like you just said, Bradford. Maybe you got a team that plays 8 home dates compared to the other team that maybe had more road games this time, and you're comparing all these things that aren't comparable. This is not apples to apples. This is not the NFL where here's a balanced schedule. Every team's going to play the same amount. Yeah, you don't play the same opponents, but largely you're going to play a lot of the same teams. This is college football. You got all these different conferences, all these different weight classes, basically all these. I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect answer to all this, but I do think college football can do something about making this a little bit more balanced. It's never going to be fair, but can you make it more balanced?
Yeah, they've got work to do. There's no doubt between the number of games and then the conference championships and some teams losing there, and then that affects the record. But they had such a good year that they're in the conference championships.
Right.
Now, falls into that that's a good loss type thing. But I don't know. Maybe just do away with the conference championship games. You either finish first or second, and your record, and they'll base it off of that.
You either finish first or last.
Yep. No, you can finish second, third, even fourth.
Ricky, I would have said that. Let's have Chat GPT clear the best schedules, create the best schedules.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea.
I always get it right.
Yeah. Have you guys tried any of that AI or Chat GPT?
No. I wouldn't have the.
I don't even know how to use it.
I wouldn't know what I'd use it for.
I don't know what I'd use it for either, but
Yep.
I feel like I'd use it maybe for emails because I don't really like.
It's not a bad idea for you.
You don't respond.
Yeah.
You still got
I would now
put the words in.
Yeah, but
how did you feel about that award I saw?
Okay, so first of all, one, much better at that. So that award 2 years ago, absolutely hands down, I'm the winner of that. But here's what I don't reply to. I don't respond to reply all people.
Why would you?
How many emails do we get where somebody puts out an email and then we get 12 people who reply all?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not replying.
Those
at
people
that
should
point.
be ashamed of themselves.
And at that point, you've lost me. I sideswipe it and it's gone.
Yep.
So the fact that I'm not going to respond because everybody else already responded. So I don't respond to that. I respond to what's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just telling me something, like, hey, we have a meeting or, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's not going to get a whole lot.
No. Yeah.
What if it's about Girl Scout cookies or something, though? That's the exception.
I go right to the head of the snake at that point and talk to them.
Yeah.
So when Anthony
Which is
comes
me.
in.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, you know what time it is.
When we used to have a real good office, we could sit there across. First of all 4 of us could fit.
Could fit, yeah.
Which was great. Now only 2 of us can fit. Even that's a struggle.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Well, it's the present right now, unfortunately.
Yesterday's just Marsh and I, because you were on the road and Carey, you were off, and I'm like, it's not too bad. It still felt small when it's just Marsh
You
and
guys
I.
are literally sitting on each other's laps.
Yes.
I was wondering why they.
If I turn right, I'm on your lap. If I turn left, I'm on Marsh's lap.
Well, for me to write an email, so this falls into the category, or even respond to certain things, I've got to sit in that office right now and act like I'm riding a Clydesdale.
Yeah.
Just so I can scooch up close enough.
You can't slide in.
There's nothing.
No
I bang
leg
my
room.
knees.
Yes.
It's
Bradford, that was your first taste of that office. How you liking it?
It was cozy. A whole day like this.
It's unbelievable.
They keep telling us we're getting another office, but nothing's moved.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we pissed them off.
We're going to be
frankly.
like that guy in that movie.
Office Space.
Office Space.
Yeah.
Oh, we got you a spot down in the basement.
Down in the basement there. All of a sudden, the checks aren't going to start coming in
We just
anymore.
keep showing up.
Yep. It's going to be us. Staplers.
There's a lot of construction taking place at the moment.
Right.
We're grinding through the new year in more ways than one.
No, we fixed the glitch.
Did we ever?
All right. Biggest question of the day is next on 101 ESPN.
Coverage of 101 ESPN is presented by Under Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com. Tune in this Friday from 11 to 2 as BK and Ferrario broadcast live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. E&B Granite, Bernie Federko's only choice for granite countertops, cabinets, and flooring. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues tried to turn the page tomorrow. I'm Bradford Brunson. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Following last night's 6-4 defeat versus Minnesota, St. Louis hits Enterprise Center Thursday. Anaheim arrives for a 7 o'clock puck drop right here. An hour from now, Colorado tackles Chicago Central Division style. Evening Hardwood Slough hosting 14-1 St. Bonaventure. Number 13 Illinois battles Penn State. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling. It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Bradford, go.
All right, guys, we have a trio of quick hitters, if you will, from the NFL world, just days away from Wild Card Weekend, opening the postseason 2024-2025 style. So first off, let's take a look at going into the playoffs, two of the marquee quarterbacks who will be in action this weekend. Front runners for the hardware, we understand, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. But for legacy purposes, and right now, who needs that MVP more?
So, I mean, the first blush would be like, hey, Josh Allen, because that would be his first. But Lamar with 3. Who else has 3?
Rare air.
Yeah.
Peyton, Aaron Rodgers.
Brady.
Brady has, I think, 3. But Aaron Rodgers got 4. I think Peyton has 5. Like, you're getting in, Mahomes has 3.
Mahomes has 2.
He only has 2?
Yep.
You're getting in rare air.
Brady has 3.
That's what I said. He got 3. But Rodgers has 4, and I think Peyton has 5.
Montana had just 2.
That's what I'm saying. You're with the GOATs.
I mean, he's probably with three MVPs. Like you're an MVP. You're a Hall of Famer.
I think he's a Hall of Famer right now.
Lamar?
Yeah. 2-time MVP? Are y'all kidding me? He's the all-time leading rusher for quarterbacks.
What has he ever won?
What did Dan Marino win?
Yeah, at least Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl.
Okay, this is his 6th year? Got time.
He has a long way to go.
Carey just loves handing out Hall of Fame jackets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
Mr. Joe Flacco.
How many Super Bowls did Joe Flacco have?
Oh, God. How many MVPs did Joe have?
0.
Okay.
Oh, gotta have 1, I think.
Nah, got none.
If Lamar wins his 3rd, you're a Hall of Famer. You can't win 3 MVPs, league MVPs, without being a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
All right.
Fine, whatever.
So,
Lamar.
Josh Allen.
All right. Okay.
I'll go Lamar. Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm in Carey's camp right now. I think Lamar, considering the body of work to this point and how much more he has as well as far as runway, 2 MVPs for me right now. Yes, regular season MVPs at that. You're already in Canton, frankly. Josh Allen needs the breakthrough award. No, for real.
Bradford, you got to put the Kool-Aid down, please. Put it down.
That wasn't Kool-Aid.
What was it, Carey?
I don't know. But it didn't smell like Kool-Aid.
Oh, my.
Okay. Maybe you should have another one.
Okay.
Let's turn it. Let's flip the page. All right. Moving forward, who needs a Super Bowl berth or Super Bowl title more? We're talking about those Buffalo Bills or the Detroit Lions coming out of the NFC.
It's got to be the Lions, man.
It's tough.
It doesn't got to be?
Well, the Bills, I know they got there, 4 years in a row. But he didn't say a championship. He said a championship or an appearance.
I did.
So if that's the case,
then Lions.
Yeah, okay.
Lions have never done it.
I don't think Bills Mafia could handle getting there and losing again.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Maybe we can get both of them.
That'd be fun.
You might, yeah.
That'd be fun.
It's like the Guardians and Cubs the one year. You knew one of them was going to win. Or I guess they were the Indians at that point. Indians.
Somebody had to win?
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are 2 good teams.
They weren't good that year?
No.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Yeah, I'll say the Lions too. I mean, Jamie, you have intimate knowledge of that fan base as well. Like they are diehard. They are diehard.
We were there not too long ago, and it was amazing to see the amount of Lions jerseys and hoodies and hats people wearing.
Which is remarkable.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'll say Lions.
It has to be Detroit for me as well, because if you flip it forward to next season, guys, and think about just how the NFC is configured relative to the AFC, it's really no overstatement to claim, of course, that the AFC year after year, from the quarterback position all the way down through the various teams and the depth, so much deeper, so much more formidable, I would say. For the NFC, the Lions, this is the year. I don't care about the attrition factor on defense so far. Yes, they've been able to weather that storm, but you know that Ben Johnson, he's gone after this year. Okay, the offensive ingenuity there. This is your best shot at making it happen, having wrapped up the #1 seed in the NFC throughout the playoffs. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Ford Field. It doesn't get any more favorable than that.
Agreed.
Ready for one more?
Yep.
Let's take it back to Signal Caller. Okay, who needs a playoff victory more moving forward this weekend and beyond? Are we talking about Sam Darnold of Marshy's Vikes or Justin Herbert looking for that breakthrough?
Justin Herbert.
Because you think he's trash.
I never said he was trash, Anthony.
You just alluded to it.
Justin Herbert. Sam Darnold, for all intents and purposes, he just wants to get out the game clean. I mean, you want to win, but you don't want to get hurt. Some money on the line, buddy. He wants to play well. They keep playing good. Justin Herbert has to win a playoff game at some point, right, Anthony?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think he will.
Has he won one yet?
No, the Chargers were up big against the Jaguars.
Against the Jags?
Yeah.
You say? No.
And they lost.
Why hasn't he won one yet? He had incompetent coaching for a while there, huh?
He absolutely did.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence.
This is the first time he's had a good coach. The first time he's had a good coach.
He threw more than 30 passes.
Okay. I don't know what your deal is with Justin Herbert, but that guy can play.
Keep him under 30 passes, and I'm okay with it. You know?
Carey's great.
Maybe it's the Oregon quarterback thing, you know? Maybe that's it.
Oh, it's because it's not a Big Ten guy.
Well, they're Big Ten now.
Yeah, former Big Ten, yeah.
But
Mariota was great last weekend.
What Oregon quarterback has had great success?
Bo Nix.
His first year. He went to Auburn to start off.
What's your problem?
Joey Harrington.
Bo Nix had a great
really.
He was terrible.
Not really.
He wasn't good.
Nah.
I got one for you. Justin Herbert.
He's good. Throw less than 30 passes and you win.
So this is just flat out
Carey
an
wouldn't
Oregon
take him
bias.
on the Steelers.
Seriously.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he threw the ball less than 30 times.
If the Steelers had Justin Herbert going into Baltimore, they would not be a 10-point dog.
I agree. Who's catching passes from him, though?
Lad McConkey.
Well, he would have to be there. Because I watched everybody for the Pittsburgh Steelers drop passes last week.
Pat Freiermuth can still be around.
Okay.
But George Pickens would be there. But you asked about catching passes.
Therein lies the problem.
Therein lies the problem, Peter. I can't put George Pickens in that
Need
category.
somebody to catch a pass, Anthony.
Man.
Not gonna work if you can't catch it.
That Steelers team just in December. It's kind of been a Tomlin thing.
Bad.
It's kind of been a Tomlin thing too in December.
I just don't understand how you go from playing so well to. And again, they played some really good teams.
And they played some really mediocre teams before
that's
that.
probably part of it as well.
Yeah.
But would I take Justin Herbert right now? Yes.
Of course you would.
I think he's a great quarterback.
How many QBs? I'm interested. We got some time. How many QBs would you take
over Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
All right, let me look. I would take Josh Allen.
Okay.
I would take
Jalen
Jalen Hurts. I'm going in AFC, NFC East.
Okay.
I would take Jalen Hurts. I'd probably take Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
I would take Lamar. I would take Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
I would take Jordan Love. Probably wouldn't take. I'll come back to that one. I would take C.J. Stroud. I would take. I would probably take Michael Penix. I ain't seen enough, but I would take him. I would take Baker Mayfield.
No.
This Shaky Bakey?
Shaky's pretty good.
I would take Shaky Bakey.
Shaky is good.
I would take Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think I'd take him over Herbert, but he's pretty good.
I would take Matthew Stafford. And then I would have Justin Herbert right there with Jared Goff.
What's your problem with Jared
Goff? Out for number, what was that? How many people was that? 12?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're not counting Penix, right?
Yeah, I'd take him. No.
10.
So he's number 11.
Ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like it.
That's middle.
I may have missed somebody, too.
I didn't say Tua. I didn't say Mayo. I didn't say anybody else. I didn't give you Trevor Lawrence.
Say who?
May. I think you meant May.
May.
Yeah.
I said Mayo. I'm thinking OJ Mayo, and I'm thinking Gerard Mayo. Yeah.
I thought it was crazy. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Gerard Mayo.
I didn't say Dak. I might put Dak in front of him.
No,
now you lost your credibility.
I might. Him and Dak. I wouldn't put Bo Nix in front of him.
You wouldn't put Dak in front of Justin Herbert.
I would put him and Dak. I would put them in the room and let them duke it out and see who came out.
Well, that's no longer football.
Well, kind of.
I still have money on Herbert for that one too.
I know.
Okay, who would you put in? You do now. Go.
I would take Allen in front of Herbert. I would take Mahomes.
Okay.
I would take Burrow.
3.
I would take Lamar.
4.
I would take Stafford.
5.
Who's one of the best pure passers in the league. And that's it right now.
No C.J. Stroud.
Nope.
No Jalen Hurts. No Jaden Daniels.
I would not say nope. I would think about Jaden Daniels, but it's only been one season. I think Herbert is top 6. I think he's a top 6 quarterback.
And his coach came in and said, "You know what, son? We're going to throw the ball less than 30 times."
You know what, Carey?
I'm telling you what his coach did. He saw it.
They opened it up down the stretch. They did.
Yeah, they did. The Patriots. And
he's got J.K. Dobbins, who's had a really good year, but he also has just as many injuries as anybody in the league. And he's throwing a Lad McConkey, a rookie white wide receiver. Now, granted, he's been really good, okay? He's been really good.
Quentin Johnston, too. We talked about him earlier.
Stone sour. Stone smart.
He's been fine.
He's been good. Not fast lane fine. He's been
fast lane fine.
Okay, maybe.
Lad McConkey's been really good.
He has.
But I don't think going into the year you're
Disley?
like...
Wow.
Didn't make anyone's fantasy team there.
Bingo card.
Will Disley.
And
you wonder why Harbaugh's like, you know what? We're not going to throw that much. Okay. Unbelievable. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've reached the last segment here, mercifully.
It's the witching hour.
It's the witching hour where wins become losses and losses become wins. At least we don't have that guy moving forward. I do love the Red Zone channel. Scott Hansen bugs me.
You don't like him?
He bugs me.
Why?
Seems like a really nice guy, Mick Cronin style. You know? But the way that he sets things up and he tips his hand, I hate it.
I don't think you think he knows what's happening. He says he doesn't know.
He knows.
I don't know we don't know what's happening here.
Oh, let's go to the Chiefs-Broncos game. You know, the Broncos have not turned the ball over in 3 weeks. Oh no!
That's true.
Drives me crazy. And then sometimes he's like, he'll let the play go, and there's like a big kick return, right? He's get like the guy gets to the 20. Now I'll spoil it for you. There's a flag on the play. Like, let it play out, Scott.
I didn't get a great vibe when he was in Paris hosting Olympics coverage.
Thank you.
Not going to lie to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice guy. He does. He bugs
you guys
me.
are harsh.
He'll flip the game too.
Now that does bother me.
You're guy down, balls out, right?
Yeah.
He's like, let's flip the game.
No.
And then he's like, oh, wait, we got to go back.
Guy down, balls out.
Some Bradford Bros.
It happens.
That's a mic drop.
We've officially poisoned Bradford.
The fast lane.
It's a hell of a drop.
The fast lane is inside Bradford.
Yes,
man.
we are.
All right,
He's
board.
loving it.
Bet the board, criticisms, compliments, 3 stars of the day next on 101 ESPN.
This Sunday, it's an NFL wildcard weekend on 101 ESPN. Game 1, Bills and Broncos. Game 2, Eagles and Packers. Game 3, Bucks and Commanders. Coverage starts Sunday morning at 11:30. Your destination for the NFL in St. Louis is 101 ESPN.
All right, the weather outside is cold, and you might be thinking to yourself, man, this is probably not a great time to sell my home. Well, if you are looking to sell your home anytime soon, you have to go with the best in the business, and that's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria just understands the market here in the St. Louis area. She's been in the business for well over 20 years, and when it comes time to list your home for a certain price, Gloria Liu knows exactly what is going to be fair for you to make your money, but also what is going to sell fast, and that's what you want. You want to get that house gone. You want to get to the closing table, and you want to move on. And that's when you use Gloria Liu. Gloria Liu also has thousands of buyers ready in her database that she can guide to your listing, creates a lot of traffic. And if you're looking for showings, creates a lot of those showings, maybe multiple offers. Ultimately, again, the most money for you and getting you to the closing table. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu, tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. She loves hearing that. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Text us anytime at 314-399-9646 on the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation text line on 101 ESPN. This is the Fast Lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com and your 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. The podcast brought to you by Schaefer Door Company.
Did we change it?
Yeah, we changed it.
I mean, you did this. Jamie did this. I did this.
Oh, normally I do that.
I nailed it.
I'm out of practice, Carey. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am too, honestly.
I didn't know what we were doing.
Normally I do the...
No, it's like running your head into a wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I can see that.
Makes sense.
Like a side of a pool wall.
The Schaefer door.
Schaefer Door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, time to bet the board. We can't remember what Marsh had last night, but the three of us all hit. Carey had Steph Curry over 35.5 points, rebounds, assists, and he had, 38?
38.
Jamie rolled the dice on the Lightning as a home dog. They lost 4 in a row, yet they beat the Carolina Hurricanes last night. And I had the underdog Georgia Bulldogs against Kentucky, and Georgia rolled.
Good for you.
So, Carey, I think you still have honors.
Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 11.5 rebounds and assists. I'm going over. Minus
It's a
105.
big game.
It is.
Thunder,
Cleveland
Cavs.
Cavs.
Jamie?
Yeah, Florida Panthers play tonight. They got the Utah Hockey Club. And I've got Matthew Tkachuk. The over-under for power play points is at 0.5. I'm taking the over.
Okay. And I'm going to take the Penn State Nittany Lions plus 9.5.
Thought about it.
Against the Illini.
What? See, that's why we've been clashing lately.
Guys have been beefing.
You know, you're gonna go against the ILL. Hope they win by 12.
Might as well take it, 10. It hurt more. Penn State's won for the last 4 matches.
I know they have.
The
Are they at Penn State as well? Or are they, they in Champaign?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we'll take care of business.
You are good.
We are.
By about 8 or 9.
10.
Great minds. Think alike, Staltz.
What do you got?
Because I'm looking at that game as well. Over-under figure. The Illini, extremely impressive thus far, but coming back from the Pacific Northwest a couple of days ago, I think points are going to be at a little more of a premium for this one. So I'm looking at that figure of 162.5, and I'm going under the total, 162.5.
Okay, under the total. And an Illini 8-point victory. Carey wins. I win. We all win. Bradford wins 4. Marsh?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. What do we got for criticisms and compliments?
We have lots of praise for the 3-pack. You guys back in the fold today, and we do have stars to distribute as well before, we finish up today. So we've got a 3rd-place tie, actually, believe it or not, between Grit, the most important attribute that you can have as a professional athlete, one would argue, and Carey, your redemption, at least, prove me wrong. You can question my motives there, but the redemption by taking the Kansas City Chiefs and winning the Gauntlet as a result. Boom. You got it in the number 3 position. Very well. Well done, Mr. Davis.
Judging seems pretty loose if that's what we're getting.
Whoa.
Hey. Just when Jamie, just when I was about to give you star number 2 for the entirety of your time in Russia and that story.
Well deserved.
Yes, that is number 2.
Well
but
deserved.
guys, there is only one choice for number 1 today. And, I'm just going to actually let you hear it out there in the audience one more time. Mr. Cronin, take it.
We're soft. So don't tell me you want to win. Just don't tell me you want to win. So don't tell me you want to win. It's crazy, and it's every day. I'm tired of it. It's every day. I have the most energy of of anybody at practice every day.
My favorite part coming up right here.
I'm upset with everybody in that locker room, my assistant coaches and my players. I don't need to do anything else. I almost got 500 wins. I'm only 53. It's a joke.
Humble
it's
brag.
a joke. But yet I come in and I have more passion and energy and pride than everybody in. That's the problem. So what the truth of it is, Ben, it's really hard to coach people that are delusional. The hungry dog gets the bone. We got guys that think they're way better than they are. They're nice kids. They're completely delusional about who they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, no further context required. Mick Cronin.
Yes. I mean, when you go back into your locker room after that, right, you're like, part of you, even though you meant it all and you're still ticked off, you're part of you are like, ooh. Ugh.
I don't think he cares.
I thought if he was the players or his assistant
That's
coaches.
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, thanks,
Me
Mick.
too, coach?
Yeah.
You too. You stink too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, that'll do it for us here in the Fast Lane. We appreciate everybody tuned in throughout the course of the show. Shout out to the Snake Pit who watched, of course. Carey, you're off the next 2 days.
I am.
Okay, so
See you all.
he's gone the next 2 days.
Cold weather.
Jamie is here for 2 hours tomorrow.
Undisclosed location.
Oh, wow.
Wow, a little vacay there for Carey.
Undisclosed. Like someone's going to follow.
They might.
You never know.
Going to Puerto Rico.
Ooh.
Okay, all right, well, good.
Whereabouts?
San Juan.
What hotel?
You guys, don't worry about it.
Carey, we'll see you, man. Well-deserved break for Carey Davis. We'll see him on Monday. We'll see Jamie for 2 hours tomorrow. And who knows about Marsh? Might be Bradford in again with me tomorrow here in the Fast Lane. So for Bradford Bruns, for our guy Andrew Marsh, who's under the weather, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.
Completely delusional about who they are.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. It's time for the Blues Instant Replay